Hi everyone, and welcome to Book Club with Bay. I am Bay, and this is Bay. Say hi, Bay.
Hi, Bay.
And this is other Bay. Say hi.
Hello.
And today we're talking about Breaking Dawn by Stephanie Meyer, the fourth and not final book now in the Twilight Saga. And as always, we are going to start off with our ratings.
At times,
let's start. Because now we have like the 3-tier system, so we'll start with stan/don't stan. I don't stan.
there are parts that I stan, but I think overall I do not.
Yeah, like I remember when I was younger reading this, I stand it a lot more than I do, but now I was just like, this is so fucking long. Can we please?
This is a needlessly long book.
I mean,
yeah,
I'm so close to just standing for like Jacob's chapter titles. Even the ridiculous ones, it just changes it up a little bit. But because this, in reference to that, this book is 3 books. Book 1 is Bella, book 2 is Jacob, and book 3 is Bella again.
Yeah.
But
the whole thing, so Twilight is good, New Moon is bad, Eclipse is good again, but not as good as I remembered it being as a child.
It's okay. It's okay.
Fine. Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah. So as a kid, Eclipse was the best book. As an adult, it was things happened. And then now also Breaking Dawn is long as fuck and I want to shoot myself.
Yeah, it was just...
So don't stan. And then
I mean, at least it didn't feel as pointlessly long as the 2 movies.
Yeah, the 2 movies were really necessary.
Especially like part 2. Half of part 2 was just walking. Then just walking. Shots of people walking.
I like getting to meet all the vampires and stuff. That was really cool. Just seeing others and like seeing their cool powers and stuff. But I'm like, that could have been 20 minutes.
Yeah, and that was a lot funner experience in the book.
Yeah,
because we actually got to remember their names. No, in the books, the characters, like just their personalities, like Zafrina and Renesmee's relationship in the book was cute. Whereas, like in the movies, it was just like, do they have a relationship? Have they met her?
Well, yeah. So, like this kind of applies across the board. Everybody's personality is, in general, better in the books.
I will say, because I said it, I think in the first, when we did Twilight, that Charlie is the only character where movie version is better. Jessica. Yeah. Movie Jessica is a million times better than book Jessica.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. So overwhelmed or underwhelmed?
I am whelmed.
Like, I would say it oscillated for me. There were times where I was overwhelmed with what the fuck.
I had my overwhelming moments and my underwhelming moments, but I think my general feel for the book was whelmed.
Yeah.
Food ratings.
I just thought of an interesting one.
All right, mine is this sippy cup of onag.
All right, well that one wins. That's perfect. I got a new water bottle in the mail today. So I just thought, if you have a washed out a new water bottle and you put water in it and you drink it, it's that plasticky taste, and you're like,
It's like that.
New bottle water.
New bottle water. Like this, the plastic.
Yeah, it takes a few goes for it to taste like water again.
Not plastic.
I was gonna say leftover food, like when you microwave it and it's just like those times where
it's still cold in the middle kind of thing,
and but also like weirdly soggy.
Yeah,
and you can't get rid of like the weird soggy, and you're like.
Every bite's a different temperature and you're upset.
Yeah.
Like if it's got like pastry in it.
Huh?
Oh.
microwave, anything that's microwave, that's pastry.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fair.
It's like that. So, and we'll get to characters when we get to characters. It's fucking Twilight, you know.
Dude, and also, like, there's just so many in the back end of it that's just like, this is a lot of people that don't really matter because it's the last book.
Yeah.
That's also the things they introduce, like, an ass ton of characters at the, like, it's just like, wow, hi, okay.
Yeah, we've only had to care about, like, a couple of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now we have to care about 1 million people that we never see again.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah.
One thing that annoyed me, I mean, like, I forgot about this, because by the time we got to, like, book 3, which was Bella's second book in the book, I'd forgotten that the preface of the first one was, like, you know, her birthing Renesmee, because it's always, because each book starts with, like, a thing in Bella's head, a melodramatic reading of her about to die, or Edward about to die, or someone about to die. And yeah, the first one, it's, you know, but what if the thing that's killing you is the one that you love? I think it'd be okay to die for that reason.
Yeah, and you're just like, please
You know?
get the teen angst away from me. I need a 6-foot pole, social distance with this fucking teen angst.
But also, and then, like, because she's having dreams while she's pregnant, right? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that carrying a vampire baby gave you Alice visions, because she's having visions of the final battle.
Yeah.
On
which
her
is not
honeymoon.
And that's not even Renesmee's
That's not
power.
Renesmee's power. So, like, the
Yeah,
thing
like,
is, if it was like that Renesmee was giving her visions,
yeah,
that would make sense.
I'd buy it.
Or if Renesmee was, like, talking to her,
Mm-hmm.
that would make sense. Because I said,
yeah, like,
you know, then that would make sense. Like, Renesmee talks to you through physical contact.
Yeah. And what's close to physical contact than being inside of you?
And connected
via umbilical cord.
Yeah, like that's literally.
But, like, that's not even the case,
bloodstream.
because otherwise Renesmee would have been able to talk to Bella through the whole pregnancy. So, like, that's not even a thing. Like, she can't stick a hand out onto the placenta and be like, "Hello, mother. How are you today?"
Mommy.
I'm a girl. I'm not a boy. You are not allowed to. You are not going to name me after the guy that you tried to cuck my father with. Because if it was a boy, she would have called him Edward Jacob, and I have problems with that too.
I have so many problems with that.
Like, and like I get that to an extent. Like, Edward's also just like coddling her because he thinks she's gonna die. So he's like, yeah, that's fine. But like, imagine if the baby was actually born a boy and she survived.
Okay, if it's a boy, would Jacob's
Wait, probably not.
I guess
I
hope not.
But it's the egg that he was attracted to.
No, well, it was. Here's the thing. Stephenie Meyer's a Mormon. We don't know what her thoughts on
the gays
that
are.
sort of thing is, but I'm gonna guess that she might not, or at least at the time of writing that, would not have been down with that sort of thing. Also, the point of imprinting is to procreate.
Mm-hmm.
And if the expressed purpose of imprinting is to procreate, then it has to be a girl.
Yeah, there has to be different plumbing.
Unless you're going to do the weird shifter thing that a lot of romance authors have taken to doing, which is letting male werewolves get pregnant, and that is
what?
Yeah, my mom was telling me about that. And, no, it's a whole genre. Like, my mom has actually been tempted to download a couple just out of like morbid curiosity, and she just can't bring herself to do it.
Can we?
Yeah, we can.
This is my formal request. Can we, please?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, just add to the list weird male impregnation.
Yeah, no, because I've also read out of morbid curiosity. It's a time. It's fucking weird. Have you ever read you ever read
I
fan
don't
fiction that is like labeled mpreg? Have you ever?
No.
Okay.
No, I generally avoid fan fiction for the most part in
Because
general.
how the genre got started, apparently,
Was fanfic?
because I saw it in the romance section and I was like, the fuck? And so I looked it up.
I would
Apparently,
have too.
the fan fiction was like super popular that romance authors were like, if the people want it, the people shall get it. And I was like,
Let them eat cake. I don't know how I. Like I mean we did do the haunted vagina, so
it's
I
not
guess
worse than the
Mpreg-
haunted vagina, I will say.
Not
So I
much
guess I
is
can deal with Mpreg,
It's
Just
but
one.
also I don't want to. But I
Just
guess
one.
we will.
And honestly, if you think that dubious consent in like heterosexual romance is bad, the dubious consent in those
Okay,
books
I
is
have
so-
a question.
yeah,
Does the baby still have a mother and a father, or a father and a father?
a father and a father.
Okay.
Where does the baby grow?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it like a seahorse pouch? Like
I
is it
think
inspired by
it's like
seahorses?
you
'Cause they
anal,
carry
they have a
the-
uterus.
So if you're a guy, you need okay. So does every male have a uterus, and it's just whoever gives is the one like impregnating, or
No,
do
so
half the
it's so
boys have uteruses?
so it's usually like
Is it- you
so
have
it's
to like get
usually-
an
hold on.
ultrasound.
So it's usually
to
a
be-
werewolf thing, and it's like I
Should we just wait until we get there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's-
We'll just sidebar.
no, I need someone else to know. I don't like knowing these things.
Okay, well we can do it when we do the book.
No, you have to. You asked. You have to know. So
Okay.
it's like it's alpha, omegas, and betas, and the omegas are the ones that can.
That have a uterus.
Yeah,
Why?
I don't know.
Why not?
Poor Omegas. I would have preferred it. That makes the least sense out of those three options. Actually, yeah, no, that still makes the least sense out of those three options.
I don't get it. Anyway,
Anyway,
Let's start the plot, shall we?
yes. So
The
chapter
long journey.
yes. So Bella and Edward are officially engaged. She's wearing the ring, and her truck has died, and she strongly suspects Edward murdered it.
I mean,
And that's where we start. Like he let's be honest, he murdered her truck.
oh yeah. He did it before in previous books.
Yep. So because she finally agreed that when her truck died, he can get her a new car, and he got her two cars. He got her before car and after car, and her before car is literally a car-shaped tank that is missile-proof. Is there such a thing as missile-proof glass?
Glass? I doubt it. Even plexiglass is not missile proof.
to the boyfriend.
Yeah, that's a good question for him.
Okay, I'm gonna actually look up and check out the specs on the Mercedes Guardian, because that's the car that she's driving. And the way that these guys are talking about it, they sound like they're the base features of it. Mercedes Guardian.
Yeah, no. Google says only bulletproof glass is a thing, which obviously.
Yeah. So yeah, it's got bulletproof glass. So yeah, but like,
That's a
okay,
base feature of Mercedes Guardian.
huh?
A bulletproof glass is a base feature of the Mercedes Guardian.
Yeah, that's why it's called the Guardian. It's an armored vehicle. So it's got like self-sealing gas tank, run flat tires, Kevlar shit in all the metals and like in the door frames and stuff, bulletproof glass, all that stuff. So
when you Google Mercedes Guardian, it has Twilight.
Yeah, Twilight cars.
Yeah,
The Mercedes Guardian.
it's her before car in Breaking Dawn.
Yep. So at first, Edward's like, "Oh, I bet they're having a laugh because I'm so such a klutz that they had to get me a fucking tank." So yeah, Bella is really what's the word? Self-conscious about driving, a luxury sedan.
A fucking at least probably like 70 to 80,000 with all the modifications you put on it, because it's not a real car. It's based off of a Mercedes.
Yeah, it's
I'd be nervous about driving a really expensive car too.
Also, it's ugly.
Yeah, I don't like that model of Mercedes. At least in the year that she was writing this, it was definitely not. They look better today, but they didn't look good back then.
The Mercedes Guardian has a starting price of 470,000 euros.
Wait, what? Is it a real car?
Yes, the Mercedes Guardian is a real car.
But it says this is a fictional car based on the Mercedes S600.
Yeah, S600 Guard.
But there is Mercedes-Benz Australia saying Guardian V2 unveiled.
Yeah, so it's the S600 Guard. So it actually is a real car. She might have just used a different name, but it's actually a car.
And also, missile-proof glass is not a thing.
No,
it's it's just bulletproof glass, and they start at €500,000. But it was on loan because the Cullens just had that kind of connection. It's not even available in Europe yet.
So the cards
he managed to loan a prototype.
The cards based on from that time is about $100,000 base. I underestimated.
So, I get it, but also, it would have looked like an expensive car, but I don't think he knew how much it was actually worth. But, yeah. Okay, yeah. Direct quote, "Can't imagine what you'd need missile-proof glass for." And I'm just like when I heard that, because I was listening to it, I'm just like, I didn't, is missile-proof glass a thing? And also, okay, so just say it is, the glass is missile-proof, so that means that the missile would have to hit the glass for that to be relevant.
Yeah, I mean, if it hits that car door, you're fucked.
Yep. 4,000 pounds of body armor.
The way that missiles work, this is bugging me. I mean, that bugs me so much, because the way that missiles work,
they explode on impact, don't they?
And just the way that how big missiles are and how explosions work and how cars work, and you can't.
It's not a thing.
You can't missile-proof.
Hi.
And I don't know if she knows this as well, but the majority of missiles, not all, some may come at you from the side, sure, but the majority come from above you. So the glass is irrelevant. I guess it would help contain the explosion.
Unless she has a moon roof, which I don't think those were a thing back in the late 2000s. But do you guys also like that I have to look over my cat's head because she's
if you had missile-proof glass, then why wouldn't you make the whole car out of glass? Because that shit's not breaking for anything.
No, you can get in a wreck with a Hummer and it wouldn't do shit.
Is the whole thing fireproof as well?
Yeah, the engine is fireproof. The engine that takes gasoline is fireproof. Yes,
yeah, it's got a self-sealing gas tank.
Oh, well.
It's got a self-sealing gas tank. So yeah, if something happens, it seals up and won't explode. At least that's my understanding of it. I could be completely wrong.
But meanwhile, she's happy. She's happy about Eddie, but she's really upsetty about Jake. Really
yeah,
upsetting.
there's all these signs of like missing person posters everywhere, and
Jakey
that her
Poo
dad's
ran
putting
away.
up. And Billy and Bella aren't even like humoring Charlie because they're cunts. Like Charlie's freaking the fuck out. Like this kid who he's known for his entire life, like the kid's entire life, Jacob. Like he's known Jacob for almost 17 years. You know, it's his best friend's kid, and he's worried. And Billy's just like, no, it's fine. Why do you give a fuck about my son, Charlie? Why do you care where he is?
I mean, arguably, he knows Jacob better than he knows Bella. And he's like,
Very true.
Okay, also, for people who don't know, in the books, Jacob looked 15, 16, and now he looks
25-ish.
So,
even though he's 16.
So he aged 10
A decade.
years like that. Okay, so it's not just like he went through a growth spurt, because that's kind of the implication.
He's also 6'7".
Yeah, he's suddenly 6'7", and also he aged 10 years. So in the movies, that is not what happens. He doesn't just go from like Shark Boy to Taylor Lautner now. That's not what happens in the movies.
Boy. There's a Shark Boy and Lava Girl reboot. Anyways, continue talking.
Yeah, I mean, like,
don't put your butt on the screen.
Because they were looking at recasting Jacob for like from New Moon onwards, because they were like, well, Taylor Lautner's like a teenager, and Jacob like gets fucking built and, you know, big and everything. Poor guy, he was working out like almost all day every day to bulk up to keep his role.
I mean, that role is probably still financially supporting him.
Yeah, and like good, like, and the movies managed to, he managed to get buff enough to keep playing Jacob for the movies. But it's also just like, he's still a baby face.
Yeah,
like, it's hard because like him and the majority of the other wolves are supposed to all look around the same age, because like, yeah, you become a wolf, you age up to like your mid-20s, and then you don't age until you stop shifting. Sam in the movies looks like he's 50.
He still has that face.
He's so baby faced.
Mm-hmm. I think it's just naturally.
It would suck to be a baby faced man.
Also, his eyes got smaller, or his face just got swoller. Poor guy. I was texting her about it a long time ago, and I was like, he's Leonardo DiCaprio syndrome, when their head just keeps getting wider and wider and wider. And I was trying to find an answer to it, and there is no answer as to why some men's heads just get.
I will say though as well, because like I told you guys before the stream, I rewatched like all the Everything Wrongs with all of the Twilight movies last night, and I'm so glad I forgot about the guy who plays Sam in the first movie.
I didn't realize he was cast differently.
Yeah, he was.
Is he?
Give me a second. I will find.
I had no, because I y'all know I rewatched them right before we started doing this for book club.
First movie.
I will say I do kind of enjoy that I have a bit of a baby face, because when I was younger, people used to think that I was older than I was, like significantly. And now people are like, so you're like 20, right? And I'm like, good.
Yeah.
I've always looked like 5 years younger than I actually am.
Yeah, but that's okay.
That's the Sam that we know.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the Sam in the first movie. He's the one that says the Cullens don't come here.
I didn't realize that was Sam. I thought that was just a rainbow.
That's Sam in the first movie. And then that's Sam in every other movie.
Yeah, that Sam's much better.
Like, can you imagine?
No! I hate this. I hate that. Thank God they recast him.
Yeah, so yeah, they're all that's the wolf pack. But like honestly, they're also like Seth is the only one that's not supposed to look,
But
hella.
also, why not? That's my question. How come Seth doesn't age?
I don't know.
Seth's adorable. I love Seth.
Yeah, Seth can stay, but
I do enjoy Seth.
But like, Sam distinctly looks like 20 years older than the rest of them.
I also do actually like Leah.
Yeah.
Because I guess in previous books she wasn't treated as a character. We never actually got to have a proper conversation with Leah. But this book, yeah, I like Leah, but
I can't. I can't.
Check them out being badasses.
The long hair also is just so I hate it.
I feel like Jacob should have been in a beanie up until his haircut, so then it wouldn't be so bad.
So you want to be able to see the worst part, yeah. Just beanie.
I feel like without I feel like with the beanie, it's not as bad.
No.
Stop.
Ooh, Jacob Black, yum. No.
I think that's my favorite one. But yeah, they recast Sam for thank goodness.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever mentioned by name in the first movie, but in the book he has that line that he's credited as Sam. And there was no reason, because Sam was already a wolf by that point. Because Sam had been a wolf.
Sam, yeah. Sam, yeah.
So they could. Catherine Hardwick and her shitty casting choices. But anyway.
Well, yeah, so he shouldn't have had long hair at that point.
No.
Otherwise,
he'd be a shaggy
Sam
wolf.
the sheep wolf.
Because Sam was also well past the age of turning when the Cullens rocked up, so he probably would have turned not when they rocked up.
Yeah,
they only turn if there's vampires around, so that's why he was alone for so long, because he had to wait for the others to turn 15, 16. So yeah, he would have had short hair, he would have been swole as fuck, he would have been a giant.
It would have been all the other him in the other movies, even though he's still not. I mean, he's fine, but Sam in the other movies versus Sam in movie one is just.
Yeah, I forgot though as well just how obviously cool toned the first movie is versus because they made the choice to make New Moon so warm because Jacob was the
man.
And I guess for the other two they did a mixture of both, but mostly bright and neutral, as opposed to warm or cool. But the first movie is so cool.
It's fucking blue. That movie is
the whole movie is blue.
It is blue.
But
it's kind of pretty though.
Yeah, it is.
For the most part, there are a few scenes where Robert Pattinson looks a bit sickly or gross or whatever, but it's also the movie that he looks the cutest in.
His mouth is also bright red the entire fucking movie.
Yeah, they didn't color correct because of the color filter they put on. In a lot of ways,
really purple to his lips.
Yeah, they didn't color correct things to account for the filter. So there are a lot of people where, with the vampires, when they lighten their skin like that, it does come off really weird because not only are you lightening their skin, then you're adding that filter. And so, yeah, like you said, sometimes he just looks gray and a little corpsey and not in the super, because they're not supposed to look dead. They're supposed to look
they're supposed to look like they're made from porcelain.
Yeah, they're supposed to look super pretty, not dead. And then there's some color issues where people's mouths look so fucking pink it's not even funny, and you're turn the saturation filter down on the mouth part, please. This is a problem.
Is it just me as well as the running like them running super fast, like look worse in each subsequent movie.
Well, the issue is that the camera hangs on them running.
Yeah.
You know, because so for example, and just it's an easy comparison, like the Vampire Diaries.
Yeah.
The camera never hangs on them.
No, we just see a blur go.
So it looks fine because you don't see it. It's more like it's either entirely implied because like the person's just there and they weren't there before, or you just see a blur and that's it. Whereas like in Twilight, the camera hangs on them.
Yeah, like they're standing still and then there's a blur to the side and the person's gone. So you're like, oh, they ran off.
Yeah. Yeah. Or if it's like an extended scene of them running, it's just like you're just seeing blur and then like a different shot and then like another blur. And so it's like implied running, but you're not actually watching them run. And also there's no spider monkey comments or anything like that. And
hang on, spider monkey.
Honestly, yeah, like there was two monkey references in that, like in the baseball scene as well. The biggest fault with the baseball scene is Rosalie being like, my monkey man. Like, did the screenwriter have a monkey obsession?
Anyway, so Bella and Edward tell Charlie about their engagement.
Yeah. Yeah, so Charlie, like, we get, like, the memory of it. Charlie was, like, displeased until he started laughing, and they're like, why are you laughing? And Edward's like, lol, because he knows. And Charlie's like, well, you get to tell your mother, have fun with that, because, you know, Charlie and Renee got married when she was, like, 18, 19, and then she fucked off 2 years later with his baby,
and look where we are now.
Bitch. Like, she didn't just leave. She moved interstate, like way interstate, not just one state over. So like she moved to Oregon, she moved to freaking Arizona.
Yeah. She yoded.
Rude, but she did. But Renee was actually kind of like, why didn't you tell me earlier? And Bella's like, because we got engaged today. And Renee's actually thought they were engaged like months ago. So she was like, well, let's plan a wedding then, shall we? So Charlie's pissed off that Renee wasn't like, and
because Charlie's pretty about the whole thing, which honestly, can you blame him?
No. If
my daughter has
high school.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, also, she just ran off to Italy. She ran off to Arizona like a few months before that.
Yeah.
Now she's straight out of high school. She was catatonic for half the time she's known this kid, and now she's marrying him. Insane asylum. We are checking you in tomorrow.
Like Charlie looks at their relationship and goes, wow, this is really codependently toxic. And he's like, maybe you shouldn't get married straight away. But Bella's like, but I love him and I'm 18 now and you can't stop me. Because she's a freaking child. Is what Bella is. Bella is a child and she's going to be a child forever.
Mm-hmm. With a child.
And Charlie's like, you can't just make this kind of decision, Bella. Yeah. And she's like, you can't stop me. And he's like, I know, but like, fucking hell.
Yeah, like her creepy baby.
Charlie.
3 months old, her creepy baby is more mature than her. We'll say that.
Yeah, quite honestly.
Creepy CGI baby. That's like all I can see as well.
I mean,
I saw her actress in something else, Renesmee's actress, and I was like,
what'd you see her in?
I don't even remember. I was watching something with everyone when I was still in Georgia.
Because even like grown up Renesmee has a CGI face because they're like, okay, you're gonna play the bulk of Renesmee, the little girl, so we're gonna CG your face onto a baby and an adult instead of just getting like an adult that looks similar. They're like, oh, she'll do. Let's put her in a wig and CGI.
Let's spend 75% of our budget on this.
Which, like, you couldn't have just gotten
like
a younger actress that kind of looks like her.
And I'm really annoyed at Stephanie Meyer because like she even said like she never wanted Twilight. Like initially, she wasn't ever planning on selling the movie rights to Twilight because she was like, well, I don't feel like CGI is at the point where they can make a convincing baby Renesmee yet. And then she sold the movie rights, and they failed at making a convincing.
She's probably rich as fuck because of it. So.
Oh, and she, I don't know if she was in the second or third movie, but she was in the first movie and part one. She was at the wedding, and I'm just like, you fucking like, you bitch.
Well, Diana Gabaldon's in like one episode of Outlander.
Most
it's really
authors
funny.
make cameos, and
Yeah, like, which honestly would be so fucking fun.
it would be.
Can you imagine just being some NPCs in Redwater?
No,
I would.
Like a lot of times, they're like, for example, like in The Pursuit of Happiness, like the guy that the movie's based on, like at the end, Will Smith and him walk past each other. So it's not like, like a, hey, look who that is, but like Bella's walking down the aisle and the camera takes like a 4 or 5 seconds on Stephanie Meyer while she's walking down the aisle, and I'm just like, was that really necessary?
Subtle, guys.
Yeah, no, but I would stand being. I'll be an NPC.
We should be Everton NPCs because then we get fancy clothing.
Yeah, that's true. I'll be an NPC in Everton.
But yeah, so Bella and Edward are like, Bella's like, I miss you already. Oh no. And he's like, I don't need to leave. And it's like, well, like, honestly, you're getting married to him in 18 hours. Like, you just can't be apart for that long. Again.
No, they can't. Toxically codependent.
Yeah, but then, Emmett and Jasper come and kidnap him to take him on his bachelor party, which I guess is hunting bears. Because
some people are interested in different bachelor parties. I don't know what I can say.
What else would I can't think of a more appropriate vampire bachelor party though. Like, what else would you do other than hunt bears?
Also, aren't you supposed to not see each other the night before?
Yeah, you're supposed to like separate at some point the day before and then reunite at the wedding.
So then Bella has bad dreams. What were her bad dreams? Because I feel like that they were
pad out the book.
There you go. Yeah, that's the perfect answer, quite honestly. To add to the page count.
Yeah.
No fucking reason.
Also, that's right. The bad dream was about immortal children, because we also get the flashback to be like, hey guys, there's going to be a major conflict, so we need to give you some backstory for it conveniently at the beginning of the book. And she remembered about how Carlisle telling her about Tanya and Irina and Kate's mother, like vampire mother, like Carlisle and Esme, the Cullens' parents. Yeah. She created an immortal child. There was a whole thing with immortal children, like, because they were the most beautiful things ever, because it was like a vampire toddler. But they never developed past the age that they were. And so when they had a tantrum, they killed 1,000 people type thing.
Yeah, just the backstory on immortal children.
Like, I have a hard enough time convincing my children to wait 10 minutes because dinner's going to be ready in 10 minutes. So no, you can't have a snack. So I get it. Like, if that kid had like super vampire strength and wanted food and wanted it now, yeah, then it wouldn't want to wait. So I get the problem. It's fine. So yeah, their mother got killed. Immortal children were outlawed. And then she has a dream about like creepy baby killing everyone that she knows. And then it's wedding day.
They get married.
So Bella gets kidnapped by Alice first thing in the morning. I don't think Stephanie Meyer realizes you're not supposed to do like skin scrubby stuff the day of. You do it like a week before, or at the closest about 3 days before, because when you scrub a human skin down, they tend to get really red and blotchy.
Yeah.
And it takes a few days to recover because you scrubbed off their top 3 layers of skin. But Alice does it on the wedding day because she's a dick. But it works out fine because it's a book.
Yep.
And Rosalie comes in. She offers to do Bella's hair, and she's like, "Wow, this is weird, Rosalie. You hate me." And Bella and Rosalie's like, "This is weird. I fucking hate you, but I'll do your hair anyway because I guess it's a day."
Because I guess today's important to you or something.
And she gets us something old. She gets like Grandma Swan's hair combs with new sapphires put in them. She's got a new dress. Alice lends her a garter because that's what you want to wear as you borrowed, I guess. I would prefer to buy something
also,
new.
like, who just owns garters?
Pixie vampires.
Okay. Thank you for answering my
Who
question.
doesn't need sleep, so I guess you have time to, you know, dress up. I don't know. I don't know, okay? But Alice has a garter.
Then she gives it to her.
And she loans it to Bella. And then it's wedding time, and luckily we don't have to chill out through the whole ceremony. We get a gist of the actual ceremony, which is nice.
Yeah.
The movie ceremony was long enough. And then it's dancing time, reception time. Everyone's having a good time.
And then our best friend Jake shows up.
Until Jake shows up. And things are going well. They're having a little dance. Edward's fine with it, I guess.
Who's the cuck now?
Like, honestly, I've got no respect for Edward as a man. Because he never does he put his foot down.
Yeah. He's just like, "Hi, Jacob. Come to my wedding. Let me just turn a blind eye while you do whatever you want with my wife."
Yeah. And then Jacob's like, "So are you going to vamp out tonight?" And she's like, "No, I don't really want to spend my honeymoon in pain." And he's like, "Well, does it make a difference? You're not having a real honeymoon anyway." And Bella's like, "It will be exactly like a real honeymoon." And Jacob's like, "You're going to let the
Yeah, he becomes fucking violent and is like, "You're going to fuck her? You're going to fucking kill her." Yeah.
But
because vamp pelvic thrusts are murderous.
Yeah. So then they leave. Like, you know, Jacob gets dragged away by his wolfy buds.
Then we go to Isle Esme.
Yes, and then we go to Isle Esme because Carlisle gave Esme an island, which, you know what? If we were rich enough for Stixie to give me an island, I would demand one and have it named after me. Because, you know, nothing says way too much money like that.
Honestly.
And they're there, and Edward's like, "You got to go have your human moment because your breath stinks, and I'm going to go skinny dipping." So Edward goes skinny dipping. Bella apparently forgot to shave her legs 2 days beforehand, so she has to shave.
Which, I'm sorry, that's what...
Edward's married with leg stubble.
Yeah, right? Like, you get that shit waxed. Like, you're like, there's no chance of you having it for like 5 days after you get married. Like, I didn't... No.
Like, yeah, no, you wouldn't even go the leg shaving route. You would, like you said, get fully waxed, like the day.
Yeah, like, fuck it.
But it's Bella, so and then it fades to black.
They boink.
And fades to black, okay?
They boink.
They boink.
And
she's fucked up the next day.
Yep.
She's covered in bruises, and she's
I'm sorry. I don't care how much you love the person you are banging. If he is hurting, like if he is causing you physical damage to the point where you look like somebody, like where you were like
you look like you're in a domestic violence situation.
Oh, like the worst of them, like you're borderline being hospitalized for it. You feel that, okay? His dick is not that powerful. Well, it is that powerful, but not that kind of that powerful.
And she's still like, "Edward, fuck me," and he's just like, "No." It's like, "I'm not doing this."
She's covered in feathers, and she's like, "Why am I covered in feathers?" It's like a bit of pillow or two. And
also, can we typically, after your first time, usually you're not immediately like, can we boink again? Right, meow. Because you're usually like, can you never boink me again at least for like 3 days?
And with her body being that bruised as well, she's not walking straight for a week.
Yeah.
The last thing on her mind is more fuck time.
Right.
But this is a book, and she's a Mormon.
But this is a book where the first time is perfect and magical, except for when you wake up the next day and your body doesn't have a shed, like an ounce of skin tone on it because it is black and blue. But
like, look, the first time is bad enough without you waking up looking like a fucking eggplant, okay?
like, yeah, but so she keeps, so he's like, I'll make you breakfast. So she eats like about 30 cartons of eggs on the honeymoon. He makes her swim with dolphins and shit, like, because he's an asshole apparently. Like, she's mad that he's making her swim with dolphins.
Yeah, he's like, let's occupy her with physical activities that don't include my penis.
But also, if you're like that bruised, how the fuck are you doing physical activity?
It doesn't matter. It's a book. He eventually does fuck her again, though, because she's incessant. But it's very gentle, and he's not harm her.
Well, yeah, because she wakes up from a dream where they were fucking, and then starts crying because she's awake and it's not happening. And then he's like, well, fuck. And then he fucks her and breaks the bed.
Yeah.
He's like literally ripped hunks out of the bed frame.
So more boinking.
And then they fuck a couple times. It's fine. And then the cleaning lady comes.
Oh, yeah.
And the cleaning lady is very upsetty spaghetti.
Yes.
She's like, what are you doing to her? What is happening?
She starts screaming at Edward, and he's like, how absolutely dare you? And then they leave. And then Bella's asleep at some stage, wakes up, she's sweating like crazy because, like, the temp's up high so they can spoon because he's so cold. But he's not there because he's a dick. He left her without the aircon to go hunting. And so she's like, okay, well, I guess I'll make some chicken. So she makes some chicken and then has a nice little chucky chuck.
Yeah.
And then continues to chuck for a day. And Edward's like,
which always means pregnant. If you throw up once in a book or a movie or a TV show, you're pregnant.
No matter
food poisoning.
Even if you've never boinked,
you are pregnant.
And you know what? You could be a 5-year-old if you do a pukey puke. You are pregnant. And also, if whatever gender you think, it is the opposite gender.
Yeah, because this whole time as well, Bella's having freaking dreams about
a green-eyed boy.
Little mini Edward.
Yeah.
And then Bella's like, I'm going to go and take a tablet thing to stop the nausea because, I guess Alice knows her so well that she's like, well, Bella's broken by everything, so we've got to make sure we pack the anti-nausea meds. Finds her box of tampons, and then she's like, well, fuck.
She's like, oh, shit. Which also, I mean, I don't know. Is she on birth control? Because if so, how is she not timing it so that she wouldn't have to even be on her period on her honeymoon?
Yeah, like you get married, like if you like, because I doubt she's on birth control because they didn't think she would ever need it.
That's true.
So you know what you do? You have your wedding, like you try, like if you've got a fairly regular cycle, which it sounds like she does, you go, okay, well, my period should be around here, so we'll have the wedding like 3 days after.
Yeah.
Or 4 days, not 16 days, because that means that, a week later, you're going to be out of commission again.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a little harder to plan if you're normal and you're planning a wedding a year out. But
well, they planned it in like a month and a half.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's much easier.
Like she could have been like, hey, Alice, I'm going to be bleeding. Can we like
or Alice, I know this is kind of gross, but can you see when my next period will be and then plan the wedding around that?
You have a psychic as a sister-in-law.
But no, The wedding was 16 days after her last period.
She had to see the box of tampons and be like, "Oh, I'm pregnant."
Yeah, and then she stands up and she's got a full-on baby belly, and I'm like, how did you notice that this morning? Like, I mean, I know it's small at that point, but how did you, like, Bella's always been described as incredibly slim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, when I started to get a baby bump, I mean, like, I was also looking for it, but like, I'm not, I got a little bit of padding. It's fine, but I could tell when I started to get my bump. It's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Your stomach feels different, like it's rock hard down the bottom, and because it's not like as well, like, you eat too much food, you get a bit of a tummy up the top.
You get the food baby.
Yeah, you know where you don't get a food baby? Above your pelvis, which is where you start to show.
Where
like
your uterus is?
Yeah, a freshly showing woman has like this weird lump like just right above her pelvis.
Because when do you start showing? It's around like month 4, right?
It depends. Generally, as a general rule, the more pregnancies you have, the earlier you show. So like I showed a lot more with my second than I did with earlier with my second than I did with my first. But also, again, it depends on where the baby's sitting. Like I lived next to a woman who I thought was maybe about 4 months pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
She was a week before her due date.
Bitch.
5 months and her being 2 weeks overdue. Like I was 5 months, she was 2 weeks overdue, and our stomachs were the same size.
Huh, okay.
And she had a big baby. She had like a 9-pound 8 baby or something. So she was just carrying really far back. But generally, it's usually between 16 to 22 weeks that you start to show.
Which is like
4 to 5 months.
4 to 5. Right?
I'll take, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you usually start to show early to mid second trimester. So,
Which
yeah,
means
I think like Bella is physically about at least 3-4 months pregnant. Physically.
Right.
Because the baby's growing super fast.
But that means that, like, it's been a day since she got pregnant.
Oh, we don't know if she might have knocked her up the first time.
Okay, it's been 2 days.
No, it's because at that point they've
like
been
a week.
on the island for 17 days.
Oh, 17 days?
Okay.
Okay, well, so it's been a minute.
So
it's been 2 weeks, and she has been pregnant effectively for 4 months.
Yeah. Because it'll take 7 years for Renesmee after she's born to hit maturity.
Yeah, that's right, because her rate of growth slows. I forgot about that bit.
Yeah.
She's growing rapidly, but each day she's slowing down a little bit.
Yeah.
So she'll look like she's in her early or mid 20s or whatever when she's 7 years old.
Can you fucking imagine?
Yeah, it's a thing, isn't it? But like Edward, I think I'm pregnant,
and she's also immediately like, "This is mine. You fucking touch it, I murder." She's immediately very, very attached.
Yeah. Which I get.
Yeah,
that.
of course.
Honestly, that's like the one part of this book that I'm all on board with.
Yeah, because we find out you're pregnant and you're like, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Like, mother's intuition can kick in, super quick.
Because the older I get, the more I'm like, nope, if I, surprise got pregnant, I would be like, I will stab anybody who comes anywhere near me.
Generally, especially if I'm surprised that Bella wasn't in more shock than what she was. Because not only was she not even thinking about falling pregnant, she didn't think it was physically possible.
Yeah. That would be shocking.
I understand it. When she tells Edward, Edward just stone freezes and just doesn't move or talk or twitch even for a good half hour or something.
And he's like, this needs to go. Got it.
And then the baby does a little nudgy nudge.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I have to keep my baby. And then that's when she disappears from Alice's visions because she's like, I'm keeping my baby. And so Alice calls and she's like, what the fuck? And she's like, I need to talk to Carlisle. He's like, a thing. And then Edward's like, fuck. So then he grabs the phone, talks to Carlisle, leaves the room. And then he's like, okay, we're going home. And Bella's like, he wants to get me checked out. He's so excited.
Yeah, and actually he's like, Carlisle's gonna fucking take care of this.
Yeah.
Time to get the vacuum. Like,
so this whole book is
as
really
well.
like a commentary on abortion, by the way.
yeah.
Yeah. Cleaning lady comes back as well.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I must see the girl to make sure you haven't killed her, you filthy beast.
Yeah.
And then she sees Bella's belly and she's like, and she starts screaming at Edward, like, how could you do this to her? And Edward's
in Portuguese too, at least in just going fucking off.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, there's probably nothing scarier than like an old lady yelling at you in a Romance language or a Latin language.
Yeah, no, there's not.
Like those two, like those two branches of languages.
Especially because they speak so fucking fast that it's just like,
I feel like your instinct is to just be like, yes, ma'am.
yeah, your instinct
I'm
is
so
to say,
sorry.
I'm wrong. I am totally wrong. I will go jump off this roof right now. I'm so sorry. Goodbye. Like,
like I picture this woman as about like 5 foot nothing.
yeah.
A little plump. And
I think that's how she was
gray.
portrayed. She was portrayed like that in the movie too. She was short, like
And Edward's just
normal, like
no.
50-year-old, 60-year-old woman build, just like.
And I'm telling you, there is nothing scarier than that.
No.
Can we be honest? Like, older, wholesome women in general, of all types,
Mm-hmm.
flipping that switch and just going off are terrifying people. Because, like, Karens aren't scary because Karen is Karen all the time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
when
it's
you
just what
get,
degree of Karen is she?
yeah, but like when you get like a wholesome woman,
Like the one that's like, of course you can invite your 82 friends over. I've made enough dinner for everybody.
Yeah.
right? When you get them angry, that's terrifying. Because like Karen, you're just sidestepping
somewhere on their person.
Yeah, because when like Karen, you're just sidestepping to avoid her being a Karen, but like them, you're like, I didn't mean to, and I'm so.
Can
sorry.
I help you? Stop trying to show your butt on camera, you whore. You already have 3 kids. Do you really?
Slutty cat.
She is.
I just remember tomorrow night we get to do a thing.
I know. I'm excited.
I'm psyched about that.
So she calls Rosalie.
Yeah, so she's like,
Rose
Edward,
calls
can you go and take the bags out? And she takes his phone and calls Rosalie, and then we switch to Jacob. And Jacob, like, and I think this is like about 2-3 weeks later. When we get to Jacob. And I will say, like, okay, like, because we are going to talk about that, especially like the one specific chapter title I sent you guys, but like Bella's chapter title is like unexpected, you know, like just like a word, like, you know, Isle Esme, the honeymoon, you know,
the wedding.
Like yeah.
Jacob's, on the other hand.
Are you going to read your text that I said you're legally required to say this out loud?
No, there was the other text that I had to read. But like, okay, like here's some of Jacob's ones. We have like, so his first chapter is waiting for the damn fight to start already. What's another one? Sorry, I'm just skipping through the book to find them. I sure as hell didn't see that one coming. And then his most emo of the chapter titles. Oh, where is it? Where are you? Oh, yeah. What do I look like? The Wizard of Oz? You need a brain? You need a heart? Go ahead. Take mine. Take everything.
Again, I needed social distance from the teen angst.
Yeah, like, I followed that up in the text to you guys, like, and this was the first thought that popped into my head. I'm sorry, Jacob. I didn't realize that you were a mid-noughties Fall Out Boy song.
Yes.
Because they had, like, really long ones, but they was just so angsty. But just, like, take everything I have. This, like, and what was Edward asking for in that chapter again? Because he asked him for something. That wasn't the one where he asked her to, like, promise to knock Bella up if she, like, killed the baby. It was something else, and it wasn't like...
Okay, but can we... I know that we're going to get to it, but since you brought it up, I don't know if, like, 12-year-old me just didn't absorb it or what.
I think that's the case. I didn't absorb it either.
But I didn't know. This is one of the points where I got overwhelmed. I didn't know that was about to happen. So I'm just sitting here painting my fucking nails, listening to Twiglight, like minding my own goddamn business. And, you know, Jacob rocks up and he's like, blah, 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 blah. And Edward's like, no, she's Pergonat. And then Jacob is like, she's Pergonat. And then Edward's like, and look at her, she's going to die. And Jacob's like, she's going to die. And Edward's like, yes, she's going to die. And Jacob's like, we have to get the thing out of her. And Edward's like, she won't listen to reason. And Jacob's like, then what do we do? And Edward's like, well, then you have to talk to her. And Jacob's like, well, how can I speak to her? And Edward's like,
she can have puppets if that's what she wants.
And then Edward's like, you reach her in ways that I do not. And Jacob's like, I don't think that's true. And because it's not. And then Edward's like, I have a plan. And Jacob's like, what's your plan? And Edward's like, why don't you fuck my wife? And Jacob's Jacob's like, what? And I was like, what? What do you mean? Why don't you fuck my wife? What? I was so confused. And then Edward, like, for realsy pant, and this is not in the movie.
No, it is not.
Which is why I didn't remember it, I think. But Edward is legit like, you should fuck my wife. And we're supposed to take that as Edward loves Bella so much
that he wants to give her a child.
He would let Jacob fuck his wife.
See, I wouldn't phrase it like that if I were Edward. I would be like, you know, if something happens and she really wants another kid, like, we'll just get a sperm donor. I mean, you know, like, and just not be like, hi, Jacob, would you like to be the direct sperm donor and fuck my wife?
Yeah, like, you know, like, no. There's
That's
so
a
many
normal thing.
Well, because when Jacob talks to Bella and Bella assumes that's what was said, that's what she jumps to, which honestly is the most logical conclusion, not that Edward offered her up as a blow-up doll to Jacob.
Yeah.
But that's what he did. He was like, I didn't ask for her consent, but you can totally fuck my wife.
I mean, she'd probably be down, right?
That is your role, Jacob. Oh, I looked up as well. I found the reason for the title of the Wizard of Oz chapter.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that this is the reason, because Edward's like, you know, there's a lot going on right now. I'm really sorry, but I need something else from you. And Jacob's like, I don't have anything left. So that's why I'm thinking that this is what inspired the chapter title. He asks for Jacob's permission to turn Bella into a vampire if it will save her life. Because, like, without breaking the treaty.
Oh, okay.
That's all it was. Because I can remember it being, like, a real underwhelming cause. And it was just like, you're the grandson of the guy that made the treaty. Like, you're the true alpha. Do you give me permission to venom up my wife? And Jacob's like, yeah, sure.
Like, can we also, I know we discussed this before, but this is more impactful now. The stakes in this book are supposed to be so high. And the payoff is always like so low.
Yeah, they go through all this fucking effort at the end to like for the Volturi, and the Volturi, all they literally have to do is Alice has to go there and be like, "Here's my vision, sir. See, nothing's gonna
Actually,
go wrong."
is there even a vision in this book?
No, we don't see it.
No, we don't.
But did she give him a vision in the book?
Yeah.
Okay, I just must have missed it then.
Yeah. Well, it's
She
a
gave-
line. It's just Alice gave him a vision. Like,
Yeah, I thought that she did, but it was just a line, but I missed it when I was listening. Yeah, so she gives him a vision, and then he's also like, but also this person, he does a thingy thing. He's a thing, and he's a half-breed like Renesmee. And
Yeah, literally that's all they had to do. They didn't have to gather fucking 25 randos we're never going to see again because it's the last book. Like, don't get me wrong, it's cool to see other vampires with their powers, but, like, they don't matter.
it's a complete
all.
waste of time.
yeah, but
And
I mean, I guess the big show of people and everything though did give Alice time to get there.
but the dramatics of Alice being gone doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and the thing that annoyed me the most was like Bella was like at the end, Bella's like, why couldn't you have at least just told me what was happening? Because I thought we were all gonna die. And Alice is like, well, you're not a very good liar, Bella. And I'm like, literally all you had to do was like, because Edward knew that something sus was going on with Bella when she disappeared to visit Jay Jenks twice, you know. But Edward's not a dum-dum, and he was just like, look, if she's not telling me something, it's because she can't tell me. And he doesn't press her on it ever. So if Bella's not acting too freaked out about the fact that Alice is gone because she knows the real reason why, then he'll just go, it's obviously something she can't tell me. There's something going on she can't tell me. Because her mind is safe from Aro. Done. That's all it had to do. But no, we had to go through half this book thinking that Alice freaking abandoned them, but knowing that Alice wouldn't do that. But there's a reason why she's gone, but there's something sus. And there was so much angst for nothing.
Well, that's the thing is like, you know, in a book, writing advice from book club with Bay, if you're going to put in angst and tension, basically generic tension or whatever,
At least have there be a reason.
Like that's fine. You want tension in a book.
Tension in a book is good.
That's great. Good for you. Make it happen. Like there be a thing.
Like
make it worthwhile in the big conflict at the end of your series.
Like the basic summary of this book is people keep freaking out over things that resolve pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have to freak out over it for like a long time for it to just be like, can we just like not care anymore? And everybody goes, yeah. Because you know what? That seems easier.
Because the first part of the book is Bella freaking out about Edward not wanting to fuck her, but then they have a sex life and it works out great. And then the middle chunk of the book is Bella's going to die because she's pregnant, but then that works out great. And then it's Bella's going to try and kill her baby, and then that works out great. And then it's the Volturi going to kill everyone, and then that works out great.
Well, because
and it doesn't like, take long
because Bella is so good at being a vampire, there are no consequences for the fact that she has to turn into a vampire.
Well, she wanted to anyways.
Right, but like it's so easy for her. So like, there's literally no consequence to it. Like
he has no struggle. She's never chilled out with her dad when she's like a day-old vampire.
Yeah, which most can't do that.
So even if like she had just gone through like the normal vampire stuff, like if she had just not been able to see Renesmee for a while or something like that, if there had just been like some kind of sacrifice on her part, like some kind of real sacrifice, for her, like, going through everything to have Renesmee, that would have made it feel like she did something.
Yeah.
But, like, throughout the book, there's multiple times where Bella's just like, I've just got everything I ever wanted, and I am so super happy. And then she stressed out for a couple of chapters because the Volturi are coming. That ends well, and then she's like, I get to go back to being so super happy. But, like, most books, like, especially, like, when people die and stuff, because, like, you know, like, the Collins family member, like a cousin, I guess, you know, she gets murdered in front of them and stuff, and, like, yeah, they're sad, but, like, we're just, like, everyone in the Collins household is just, like, we're so super happy, and I'm just, like, it's been a stressful few years. Like, no one's at all emotionally damaged from anything that's happened at all. Like,
Yeah, the last books don't matter.
Yeah, Bella doesn't even have any kind of lasting emotional damage
Trauma from getting
what,
almost killed 8 times.
or from, like, what Edward did. There's no lasting trust issues.
Which there definitely would be.
And Jacob obviously has, like, honestly, the only person who doesn't get a happy ending in this is Leah.
Yeah.
And Leah's the one who most deserves it.
I know, right? She gets fucked over by her boyfriend imprinting on her cousin, who was like her sister, and then she's infertile. I guess we should go back to the Jacob.
Yeah,
Right.
so
Yeah, anyway.
Sam is like, so they get back and Jacob's like, oh, she must be a vampire. And Sam's like, all right, well, we're not going to attack the Cullens. Dope. And Jacob's like,
and you know what? I'm Team Sam on this one because he's like, you know, like, I'm not taking this into a war because Bella has decided to make an informed decision.
Has consensually decided to get bit.
She knows the good, the bad, the ugly. She knows what, you know, she got to witness what first, like, newborn vampires were like last year.
Yeah.
They're leaving, like, once she's turned, they're fucking off. Like, it's not our problem. Like, not our monkey, not our circus.
So then Jacob's like, I'm gonna go rogue then.
Yeah, so he goes to go do a thing, and because he knows that they're back.
Yeah. And the Bella's quarantined because she contracted a rare disease in South America.
So, yeah, he's not sure if that means she's turned or if they're trying to just, like, wean Charlie into the idea of it before they turn her or whatever. So, yeah, he goes off to do a kill. And I really like as well, I will say one thing I like about being in Jacob's head sometimes is, like, just how conflicted he, like, because he's just like, I really want Edward to open the door, and then Carlisle does, and he's like, God damn it. I really didn't want to have to kill Carlisle.
It's like, damn it, Carlisle's a good enough guy. Fuck. God damn it.
He's like, I'll do it, but I'm going to feel really bad about it, okay?
Yeah. But then he sees Bella looking like she
is about to die.
Yeah. And, like, is, like, 20 months pregnant. And he's just like, whoa, buddy, I don't like that.
And he's like, what the fuck? And they're just like, we don't know. And Rosalie's like, all like,
Rosalie's like, touch her, you fucking die.
I pictured Rosalie, like, sitting over her with, like, lizard contortion going on.
Yeah.
Like, and then just, like, at...
Yeah. Fucking hissing at people when they get near Bella. She's just like...
Because Rosalie and Bella are, like, this now, because, like, Rosalie's the main person that wants to, she wants a baby more than anything. So she's like, well, Bella's having a baby. We gotta save it.
It's our baby.
Yeah, like, and Rosalie and Bella talk in terms of we. Like, they're like, Bella the baby and Rosalie are one person.
Yes.
Yep.
And the Cullen house is very, like, divided because the rest of them are like, this bitch needs to fucking die.
Well,
like,
Esme and Emmett are with Rosalie and
yeah.
Bella.
Yeah, well, Esme's like, look, I get it. Like, I'm sad for Bella, but I get it, so I'm gonna support it. Carlisle's like, well, I'm not gonna force her to have an abortion.
Yeah.
Emmett and Jasper, I don't know what their thoughts are. Like, Emmett is obviously Team Rosalie just because they're, you know, an item.
Life
but
partners, yeah.
we don't actually find out what Emmett.
And then Alice is like, "Yay, abortion!"
Yeah.
Yeah, because main thing that Alice is freaking out over is she doesn't know what's going to happen.
Can't see the future. Yeah, she can't see who's going to survive or what's going to happen with the
doesn't
baby.
want her best friend to die.
Well, and what we know is that the reason why she can't see the future is because Renesmee is imprinted with Jacob, I think.
Yeah.
No, because she can't see any of the half vampires. That's how she managed to find
that
out.
too.
She looked for someone she couldn't see. So they're not sure if it's because she once was human and now she's a vampire. She can only see humans and vampires, or if it's a chromosomal thing, because they're thinking that because humans have, what do we have?
23.
23. Werewolves have 24 and vampires have 25. And they think that Renesmee has the same as werewolf, so it could also be a chromosomal compatibility thing. I don't know. They kind of just left it up to a shrug.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, meh.
But yeah,
Jacob
then
is upset.
Ed was like, Jacob, let's take this outside, and Jacob's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Yeah.
On like Donkey Kong, and Ed was like, I'm not quite ready for that to happen yet, Jacob. Just hear me out. And that's where they have the conversation of, can you knock up my missus, please? Convince her.
And if she dies, I die.
And Jacob's like, well, I'll be more than happy to kill you. And
yeah, Jacob's like, fucking sign me up. I'm number 1 on the list. Let's go. I'm first draft
You just
pick.
brought that into this.
You're welcome.
I will never work with you again.
Yes, well.
I'm sorry, but we have 3 more books to write. So
Also, we signed a contract.
yeah, we did.
We actually signed a contract that was like, even if we break up as friends, we will finish.
We will finish fucking Blackwood.
You know what? Probably smart. Like, I mean, hopefully that doesn't happen, but
No, but
we were like, just in case.
yeah.
Because we were also like, hopefully, if we do break up as friends, the fact we have to finish Blackwoods will fix it.
Yeah, like it's fine.
We were like, you're welcome, future us. We're meddling in our friendship. You have book club and Blackwoods to do. Don't break up.
no, like, honestly, please don't break up, because I like I don't want to have to be the middleman.
It's like
they're not talking right now, guys. Okay.
So Jacob goes back and accidentally tells them that Bella's pregnant.
Oh yeah, because Bertie goes in and tries to convince Bella to let it. Like, he actually does end up going there, and Jacob's like, "What the?" And Bella's like, "What the fuck? What? If I'm like, do you get me Saturdays and Sundays? You drop me home knocked up, and then it's all hunky. Like, this is fucked up, Jacob." Jacob's like, "I know. I'm just gonna leave." So then he eats and like wolfies out, and it was really interesting. I will say though, to get into the Pack's head.
Yeah.
To see how that worked a bit more. Because, yeah, like, obviously, he's thinking about what he just saw when he's, like, running as a wolfy wolf. Because, you know, it takes a minute to absorb that. So you have to ponder it. But, unfortunately, other members of the pack are wolfing out, too. So they find out, and then there's, like, oh, and then everyone becomes a wolf, and then they have a team meeting.
Yeah, they have a team meeting where Jacob's like, I'm seceding from the Union.
Well, first Sam is like, okay, this changes things. Now that Bella is Pergonat and that is eating her, we're going to go immediately kill it.
Yeah, like, we're going to start murdering things.
And he's like, but I don't want to.
And Sam is like, you know, it sucks that we have to kill Bella. Like, that's a shame. God bless. Housed ever.
Yeah. And then Sam alpha orders Jacob and Seth because they don't want to.
Yeah. And then
Jacob's like, but I'm an alpha.
Yeah.
And then Jacob secedes from the Union.
Because we find out in New Moon that, like, because, like, Sam and Jared and Paul kept on looking at Jacob like, you know, he was the next coming of Christ. And he found out why later in the book and tells Bella he was supposed to be Alpha. He's just younger than him, so he hadn't changed yet because of his ancestry. He was the Alpha, and Jacob's like, hell no, I'll be your second.
Yeah.
You get to do an Alpha. So we get that backstory in the books. I don't think it was explained so well in the movies. And then in Jacob's head, he was like, no, wait. Ephraim Black's grandson was not born to follow the son of Levi. You'll lead, I shall do an Alpha thing. Whereas in the movies, like, you know, weirdest scene ever, the wolves are just like circling each other, like
they're just standing on a beach with a bunch of logs around, and they're just like,
and then Jacob just like, his heart grew 3 sizes that day, you know, like he expands while like going, I am the son of Ephraim Black and I say no. And you could tell who in the theaters hadn't read the books because they were the ones going, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Like, I think the movies gave too much credit to the audience to have read the books first.
Yeah.
Because it just left, like, that scene made no sense from a movie perspective because we didn't get any of that. And if we did, we hadn't been reminded of it in a few movies.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was taking for granted the fact that we knew the information instead of having Jacob go, no. Like, he could have even said, you know, no, I'm the true Alpha because I am the grandson of the last true Alpha, etc. But that didn't happen. So,
but he joins the Cullens as his own pack, and Leah and Seth join Jacob and the Cullens.
Jacob's running to the Cullens, and then he hears like Seth behind him. He's like, "Wait up for me! My legs are tiny because I'm a little puppy wolf."
Mm-hmm.
He's like, fuck off, Seth, go back. He's like, but they're my friends. So then they get to the Cullens, and he's like, there's going to be an attack. To your positions. Defense. And they're like, ah. And then they have a chat. And then they're like, look, Sam's not actually going to come and attack.
Yeah, like he had some numbers leave, so he's decided against it.
Yeah, and they also work out as well that now that they've broken away from the main pack, they're not linked to them anymore. And then Leah realizes this because it also took the pack a minute to work it out. But Leah realized it beforehand. She's like, I can get out of Sam's head. Excellent. So then she defects to Jacob's pack.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I don't have to be around Sam and my cousin. Sign me the fuck up.
Yeah, she's like, I don't have to listen to my ex-boyfriend think about how much he loves my cousin. It's like, good fucking bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and Jacob's like, really, like, do I like? Thank Christ in the movie they had all of these conversations in human form.
Yeah.
Because it would have been just as ridiculous as like the wolves doing their circly shit.
Yeah, with the voiceover that's distorted.
But like, it reads fine in books. I'm sure if it was a real thing, like, it wouldn't feel weird. But watching it in a movie, it's just weird having things telepathically communicate to each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, Leah's like, look, you're not getting rid of me. Like, I found my freedom. And then so then they decided.
And look, if you've ever been broken up with or like had an ex, you can fucking imagine.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, I'm pretty sure they were like, if they weren't engaged, they were like engaged to be engaged. And then her, again, like in terms of how she viewed Emily or whatever the fuck her name is, her sister wakes up one day and the love of her life is just sees her sister and is like, oh, you know, and you know, falling to knees in love with. Like you don't get over that.
No.
And Jacob's like, how can I trust you not to kill them? And she's like, because you'll kill me, or you're worse, you'll make me go back to Sam. And I vote no. So if I have to look after the Cullens to stay in the quiet heads, then we'll do that. So
yeah,
they run laps around the house all day, every day. Or Bella's still
Esme gives them clothes. Since
Esme's soul is too pure for this world.
They constantly ruin their clothing.
Yeah, because So they like Seth is fine. He goes in. He's like food, so he eats. Whereas Leah's like, I'm not touching that fucking food. Fuck off. A vampire made it. And so, yeah, over the course of the next however long, we get to witness Bella being broken boned from the
her
inside.
ribs are cracking, pelvis is breaking, everything is. She looks dead. She won't
She's
eat human food.
malnourished every day. And then Jacob has the errant thought of like, the little fucker probably just wants what the rest of you want, and, like nothing but blood for the little suck, like, you know.
And Edward's like, "That's fucking genius, Jake. Let's try it."
I don't know how they didn't have that thought earlier, though.
Yeah, I know.
The half
that would have been my first thought.
Eat human food.
That would have been my first thought, quite honestly. So give me some O-Neg. Let's go.
And fucking, I can't remember who it was. It must have been, I think it was Rosalie. Fucking puts it in a clear cup, and we just hear someone be like, or you could get a not clear cup. That could work too. So then they bring out a sippy straw cup.
Yep.
Filled with blood, and Bella's like, it tastes so good. So she's getting better, but the baby's
such
also
a
getting
cringy scene in the movie. When she's so cringy in the movie when she drinks it, and she's like, "It's really good." And I'm like,
and she's like,
"It tastes
good."
Good.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
I'm just like, Kristen, that is not how you do a dramatic pause. She's, honestly, does her acting get worse as well?
Good.
Like, it's really sad as well that, like, the most emotional she gets delivering a line is also one of the most ridiculous lines of the books and movies.
You need this monster. God, and like the way she delivers it just isn't good. It's fine. Edward realizes that he can read the baby's thoughts, and then how he's like, "Oh, I love this child now because it loves Bella."
He absolutely adores you, Bella. He loves you so much.
Also, how at this point does he not know that
it's a girl?
I don't know. I guess because the baby's not aware of its genitalia yet. I don't know. Although if it's developed enough to be able to be like, "Daddy, help me not hurt Mummy," and then Edward's like, "Well, maybe if you didn't move so much, you wouldn't break her bones so much." And she's like, "Okay, I'll try, Daddy." You know.
Mummy, I want to fuck a butt. Sorry.
Yes.
But then we get the naming conversation where she's like, "Of course, it's my little EJ," and they're like, "EJ," and she's like, "Edward Jacob," and they're like, "Oh," and then someone's like, "Look, I know you're pretty convinced it's a boy, but on the off chance it's a girl,
on the off chance for fucking God, we hope it's a girl."
We picked Renesmee.
Renesmee because it's a combination of Renee and Esme, and her middle name will be Carly with a C, like Carlisle and Charlie. I'm like, you couldn't have done that for the first name. That's a fine name. That's a perfectly fine name. The spelling's different, but I can live with the different spelling based on the circumstances.
What was the middle name again?
Carly. Carlisle and Charlie combined.
Renesmee is a terrible name.
Yeah, I hate it.
Here's the thing. Horrible. Do not use.
I lost all faith in Rosalie in this scene because Bella's like, maybe it's a bit silly, and Rosalie's like, no, it's perfect.
Yeah, no. Well, here's the thing. It's not Rosalie's fault. Stephanie Meyer made her say that.
It's very true.
The other thing is, don't use your mom and your mom-in-law's lesbian shit name to name your child.
That's hilarious.
I thought.
That's fair.
I mean, like, combining my mom's and Stixie's mom's name could, I mean, it would sound like an old lady name, but it would come up with an okay name. I will put it in the side. Like, but I still
it doesn't work for mine and my boyfriend's mom's names. It does not. There's no combining those bitches.
I think this is the better combinations of the name that I'm giving you guys. But I still would never.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than Renesmee.
I mean,
Hold on. I got this. I got this, Addie. Okay.
are you
Courtney
gonna?
got this?
I'm gonna wait till.
Okay.
I'll wait till you do yours. I'll see if it's the same. Is it there?
Never in a million fucking years.
This is the one that I. Sorry, I read it and just like actually said it out loud in my head. That's the one that I had, and that's probably the least objectionable combination. Or if you wanted to be really, really cheeky, switch them around the other way, and then go with.
Okay, you're right. Actually, that one does really work. All right, but I wouldn't
That's
name
kind
like,
of cheating though. That one's really cheating.
yeah, that is.
That's cheating. I'm sorry. Okay, but like dad's names.
Oh my god! Hang on.
Mine would sound like dessert.
So I don't even know what you would do with that.
Yeah, right. I love his dad's name so much. It is. That's a ship name. That's a ship name as well.
I don't know what I would do with mine though. I enjoy this.
This is really. I wish without like doxing our families, we could talk about this.
Yeah, no. The fathers in my situation, it seriously sounds like something you pour over a crumpet. So
that's another one for you, TJ.
That.
So yeah, I think the lesson of this is unless it's something like you're having a daughter and the dad's names are Carlisle and Charlie and you decide to go with Carly, because again, perfectly fine name.
Yeah, that's fine.
I can even live with the IE at the end of Carly if that's the reason why.
Yeah.
Don't do it. And if your mother's names are Renee and Esme,
please don't name your fucking kid Renesmee.
As we've proved through our, I wish we could talk about it.
I really do too.
Sorry, I saw that last one.
It's so silly.
But I guess back to the book. Jacob needs another minute, because he's just like, wow, I'm completely alone now because everyone's just like, wait, Alice loves having Jacob around at the moment because at the moment with Bella, it's kind of like she's trying to watch the TV through like an old analog TV with a really bad antenna. So it's just like really staticky and it's giving her a headache. Whereas, if Jacob's right next to her, then she can't see jack shit and she's fine.
Yeah.
So she gets mad whenever Jacob leaves the house, which I kind of also like because every time he comes back, she's like, it's about freaking time, Jacob. But he needs to have some alone time. So Edward's like, have some car keys. And so then he goes to, I don't know, a city. I can't remember which one. And he goes to the park and just starts staring at every girl really intently, trying to.
He's just trying to. Leah is like, "Hey, you should just fucking imprint on someone. Then you won't have to worry about liking Bella anymore."
Because also,
it's not effective, by the way.
And also like every time he walks in, like Bella gets like super excited, like
yeah.
You and Jacob's like, it's really not fucking fair that you keep looking at me like I'm Santa Claus on Christmas morning. He keeps feeling drawn back to her as well. Also him and Leah, because they've had a few heart-to-hearts as well, and Leah's also like at one point being like, look, I know that Rosalie's a bitch, and I know you hate her, and I know why you hate her, but I also get it, because Jacob's like, Rosalie only cares about the baby.
Yeah.
And Jacob's like, how could you say that? How could you say that? You understand Rosalie? And she's like, well, look, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to have children. I've been a wolf for months now, haven't had my period. Maybe if I stop shifting, I'll be able to baby. I don't know.
Well, we also don't know, like, if she were to imprint with someone.
If she
Yeah.
could.
Yeah, because it could be that, like, Leah could only have kids with whoever she imprints with.
Magic sperm.
Yeah, so Leah is obvious. Like, I mean, like, even if you're not wanting to have children, like, if you find out that you're sterile, even like if you were 14 and you found out you were sterile and you're still years away from considering it, like, that's really heavy.
Because like having that choice taken away from you, like even if you're not someone who wants kids, you know,
it's still
typically you want the choice to not want kids.
Yeah.
You know?
Because also for most women as well that are like, you know, I don't think I want kids, like, you know, there's always that thought in the back of the head, but one day I might.
Yeah.
Well, because like in my case at 18, I was convinced I did not want kids.
And now you're like, babies!
And now my ovaries are sore all the time because I really want kids. Every time I see a child, my ovaries are like, we're breeding, right? And I'm like, calm down, please.
Give it a few years, please.
I'm like, not now.
So Jacob doesn't know how to deal with that perspective either. Also, I kind of, because Rosalie and Jacob really don't like each other at all. He keeps telling like blonde jokes.
And then she makes him a dog bowl to eat out of at one point.
Yeah, Esme's
which honestly was great. I enjoyed the fuck out of that. Esme's
like, yeah, Rosalie, go get Jacob some food. And she's like, I'd rather not. And then Esme's like, you're not going to embarrass me by refusing to feed one of my guests. Go get him some food. And then, you hear this metal screeching in the kitchen. She comes out and just bends a big metal mixing bowl into a dog bowl.
When he gets back from...
Yeah, he gets back from the thingy.
From trying to imprint on random women.
Yes, and honestly, like, Edward's like, I'd rather if Leah didn't upset my life again. And like I kind of get, like, you know, like, it's his missus, he's, you know, she's going through a rough time and stuff, but
I would say
wrong, because Leah goes in and has a go at Bella, like, you need to stop stringing Jacob along. You're a fucking cruel ass bitch. How fucking dare you do this to him?
Yeah, she's also like, you know, you're pregnant, you happily married
to your husband.
Can you fuck off?
Yeah, which fair. Everyone's fair.
And Edward's mad at her for that. And he's like, I'd rather blah. And it's just like she's being a bro. Like, I feel like I would do that too. Like, if someone who is probably the guy, but Leah and Jacob have a really good understanding of each other now that they're separated from the pack.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably the person that she's closest to and understands, like, they have the most mutual pain. So like, I get it. And then if I saw the cause of that person in my life's pain, like, again, acting like a kid on Christmas morning every time he walked into a room while she was pregnant with her husband's child, and for all intents and purposes, still stringing him along and not letting him move on, I'd be fucking furious too. Like, how absolutely dare you? So I get it, and I'm like, and Jacob's just like horrified and like mad at Leah for, like, he's also like low key like surprised and pleased, but also like a little bit like, Bella's got enough shit to deal with. How could you do this to her? And he's like, how can she do this to you?
Leah's like, have you ever thought about not giving a fuck about Bella?
Yeah.
And maybe caring about
anyone else.
Yeah.
Because like Edward is like literally like, but Jacob, you have to stay. You make her happy, and he's like, I really kind of don't want to watch the person who I currently believe is the love of my life wither away and die because of your demon spawn. But Edward keeps like guilt tripping him. He's like, she doesn't have much time left. You need to be with her. She's gonna die. But then he asked for Jacob's permission to do
a bite to Bella.
And Jacob's like ends up being like, yeah, fucking fine, I guess.
Yeah, it's the only thing that's going to be able to possibly save her life. So, enjoy, have fun.
Yeah. So then the wolves make sure that the path is clear for the other wolves. Oh, sorry, from the other wolves, so the Cullens can go and get more blood because Bella's drinking up all the fucking blood in the house. And they're all getting a bit hungry too, because
yeah.
So they do that, and then while they're gone, Bella's sitting there with her sippy cup, and then she's like, Rosalie, I'm really sorry, but I need to do a pee again. And Rosalie's like, okay, fine. Bella gets up, knocks her cup over, bends down to pick it up, and then the placenta touches. And it's baby time.
It's baby time.
And, like everyone's in an uproar. Crap, get her upstairs. They get her upstairs, and Jacob's like, "No, we just need to keep your heart beating. Breathe, Bella, breathe." And everyone's like, "It's not baby time." And
after the baby's born, they start doing CPR, injecting venom, biting her everywhere.
Yep.
Also, in the movie, Carlisle is there.
Yeah, Carlisle's the one delivering the baby.
But
it's Edward. It is Edward.
It's just Edward, Rosalie, and Jacob.
Yeah.
They're the only ones there.
In the movie, though, right?
Yeah.
But in the movie, Carlisle's there.
No.
They're all off fighting. They were all off going to go do a blood run. Then in the movie, to add some tension at the end of the movie, they made the werewolves attack. So all the other vamps are out fighting the vampires.
Yeah, because I was like, in the movie, Carlisle's not gone. He's like, but anyway.
So they added in a werewolf fight, I guess, for tension in the movie.
Well, yeah, because it's the end of this movie at this point.
Yeah, it ends with Bella opening her eyes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the baby gets out. Like Edward literally like tears chunks out of her belly because also the amniotic sac is like vampire skin. It's rock hard. Nothing can get through it. The only thing to get through it is vampire teeth. So Edward tears chunks out of his stomach to get, the baby out. Bella's like, I want to hold her because they know it's a Renesmee now. She's like, I want to hold her. So she holds her. Creepiest description of a baby ever. Eyes wide open, fully alert, full mouth of teeth. I'm just like, no baby should be born with teeth. Like, I'm not going to lie. Even babies, like some babies, it's pretty rare, but some babies are born with like 1 or 2 teeth. I'm like, I could not think of anything creepier than a toothy baby.
And something living up in your junk with a tooth. That's weird.
But Renesmee reformed, teeth out, everything. And she's like, oh, look, just got a little teeth. But now it's time to stab her with morphine. And Jacob's just like, don't you die on me, no. And
so Rosalie takes the baby away, and Edward and Jacob are just trying to keep her alive, and Jacob's like, she's dead, run away.
Yeah, Jacob's like, she's dead, and Edward shoves him out of the way. It's like, fine, I'll fucking keep her hot.
And also he breaks part of his hand doing that.
Yeah.
And then Jacob yeets, and Jacob's like, fine, Edward can...
I'm going to go kill that fucking baby.
Yeah, and Jacob's like, Edward can keep fucking with a corpse. I'm going to go kill the baby.
Well, initially he was planning on leaving because he felt pulled downstairs. He's like, I'm out. And then he gets downstairs and realizes the pull is coming from Rosalie and the baby. And he's like, oh, my brain subconsciously wants me to kill the baby, so I'm going to do that. Luckily, Rosalie picked that time to put the baby's head over her shoulder. She was burping it. She picked a good time to do a burp. And then Jacob falls to his knees and he's like, she's my kite string. And then we go back to
And then he's like, no. He's like, she's a cable. She's 1,000 cables. And you're like,
that's right. I could feel every other tide of the earth shattering and breaking and ripping and tearing. but I couldn't float away because she was my tether now. She was a million tethered. She was my kite strings, my cables.
She was
He imprints. He imprints.
Yeah.
Now it's book 3.
Yeah, now we're back in Bella, and she's just like, we get to. I will say, because Stephanie and I had kids, and like I think it's fair. Like despite the life and death situation of it, like the complete disorientation that Bella's going through throughout this whole thing, pretty accurate. So, just in regards to that, fair. And now and the morphine's like kind of like just ended up just like locking her down. She can't move. But she feels like she's on fucking fire because, you know, she's turning into a vampire. I also don't think in the movies they really explained how long it takes to turn into a vampire.
It takes a long ass time.
Because a lot of people were also confused that why is Bella lying there for days? You know, so, but yeah, then she opens her eyes.
Yep, she opens her eyes and she's like, "What's this warm hand on me? Oh, it's Ed. Why are you warm, Eddie?" Like,
yeah, and Jasper in this scene just like amuses me because he's just like getting really upset that she's not like feral and trying to kill everyone.
mm-hmm.
And one thing I really didn't like about in this, it was like, you know, it took 1/64th of a second for this entire thing to happen. In another 0.83 parts of a second, another thing happened. I thought about standing up, and automatically I was standing up. It was like I didn't even move, but I just teleported there. And I'm just like, this is just a bit too. Like she opens her eyes, feels Edward's hand on her, does a backflip off the table, gets into fighting stance, sees everyone around her, acknowledges that it was Edward. He's like, what the fuck? Calm down, Bella. Look at all the shiny bright to light, and it's only been half of a second since she opened her eyes. And I'm like, that, even with like, you know, their capacity to move faster and absorb information faster, I think that's a bit much. I think
it is a bit much.
I think 5 seconds would still be quite reasonable for that.
Yeah.
Because a human in that situation, it would have been a couple minutes before everything kind of came back into focus.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fine. But no, it was like 1/64th of a second. And yeah, she's like, and then Bella keeps being like, you know, I'm fine. Everything's just a bit disorientating. And they're like, aren't you hungry? And she's like, oh, well, now that you mention it, I am hungry. But then, oh, look, something shiny. I'm no longer hungry. Shiny stuff.
But oh my God, my baby. Where's my baby?
Where's my baby? And they're like, calm down. She's like, why is Jacob downstairs? He wants to kill her. And they're like, we'll talk about that later, but you need to eat first. And it takes about 10 minutes for her to, 10 minutes reading time, but about 25 seconds max vampire time for her to be like, okay, let's go get some food.
Mm-hmm.
So then they go and get food. And not only is Bella like, well, so far we've discovered that she's incredibly graceful even for a vampire, which lol, because she was like the klutziest human ever, but now she's super graceful for a vampire even. So I thought that was a bit much.
Yeah.
But
she also they go hunting and she smells a human. Yeah, hiker, and she's like, almost snapped, but I'm fine. And Edward's like, you fucking what?
Like she's mid-hunt, she's about to pounce, and then she's like, no! And then she does a yeet. And Edward's like, you stopped mid-hunt. Like later on when he's telling the rest of the family about it, she was like, she caught the scent of a hunter, and then she stopped herself.
And they're like, I will BRB.
Okay. But then like I'm pretty sure her and Edward bang like on the way back to the freaking house after the hunt. I feel like they did.
No, I know they have they have the bang fest once they move into their cottage.
That's right.
Then it's Sextopia.
Yeah. But
which is just a thing for like vampires to just when they get into a vampire relationship, they're just like, we're just gonna fuck forever.
Yeah, like the only reason they don't fuck is because they remember that something else has to happen. Like,
so she finally sees her kid though. She finally sees Renesmee.
Yeah, and like Jacob's like Rosalie's holding her, Jacob's like in front of her, and everyone's like formed like a line, and she's like, "Can I just see my baby?" And Renesmee's like, "Can I just see my mummy, please?" Like she's like sticking her head around. She's like, "Please," and Bella's like, "That's not a newborn baby. That's like that thing's like 2 months old. What the fuck?"
Yeah,
and like, she's growing really fast.
They also tell Bella that she has the ability to like, you know, do the touch thing.
Yeah, and Bella's like, "Wow, this is pretty cool." Like, I mean, like, honestly, if my kids were going to have one superpower, I would want it to be that, because honestly,
especially when they're that young.
Well, one thing that just, especially like, you know, especially with your first kid, you just look at them and you're like, what is going through their head? Like, just seeing like their faces, they look at things, and you would give anything to know what they were thinking or feeling in any given moment. Like, it would be number one baby superpower that I would want them to have. Plus, also, it would make those first few bits, like when you're trying to adjust to, like, before you understand what each of their cries mean, it would be super helpful to be like, give me your hand. Oh, you want food? Okay, well, we can do that. We can do food.
Just give me 2 minutes.
Like, it would be super helpful in that sense as well, because you probably have a lot more sleep.
Yeah. Then she finds out about Nessie.
Yeah.
Almost murders Jacob, and then almost murders Seth by breaking his collarbone.
Yeah, because she sees the way that Jacob's looking at Renesmee like she's the only thing on the planet, and then she looks and she's like, "You imprinted on my daughter," and he's like, "Nessie likes me too, I swear." And then we get the infamous, "You nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster," which I get that Nessie is the Loch Ness Monster. I get it. However,
it's the only nickname that makes sense for a fucking long name.
Well, like, because also later on as well, like when Bella's making the fake passports, she fake names Renesmee Vanessa, because she's like, well, Nessie would work for Vanessa too. I'm like, you realize that almost every Vanessa that has ever gone by a nickname would be either Nessie or Nessa or Ness, you know?
Yeah.
Like, Nessie isn't exclusive to the Loch Ness. Like, if someone introduced themselves to you like, oh, that's Nessie, you wouldn't automatically go, oh, you were named after the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah, like,
it would be like, I'm guessing Vanessa. I worked with a girl named Janessa, and her nickname was Nessie. It's just a thing because it goes with the name. What else are you going to give Renesmee? Because then
that's too long of a name to say every single time.
Yeah, because then everyone else is calling her Nessie too, and Bella's like, not you two, and then so I can't remember who, but someone's like, well, the name you gave her kind of is a mouthful. It's kind of a mouthful.
It's kind of ridiculous.
Like, it's the most retarded name I've ever heard, but I'm being nice about it, okay?
This is when they get the cottage and the sex fest begins.
Oh, well, first is me wanting to kill Jacob. Because Bella, after the fight thing, Bella gets taken outside while Jacob is still out with the freaking baby. I'm like, no, like that would be making me see even more. He would have to leave. Like, keep Rosalie and a couple of the others out with the baby. Keep Jacob the fuck away from her while I calm down, please.
Yeah.
But then she's like, okay, I'm calm. I would like to see my daughter again. They're finally gracious enough to let her see her own freaking child again.
Yeah.
Like, Bella's already said to them, like, look, she doesn't smell like food to me. It's fine. But
which I get why they were like, oh goodness. I get why they were like, let's give you a minute. Your kid is half human.
Yeah, but so they bring her in, and so Renesmee's showing Bella more stuff, you know, and like you know, her entire life up until this point, so like 3 days later. And one of those things, and she's showing like a lot of like she loves Jacob type thing, and then Renesmee must have smiled at Jacob or something, and he's like, see, I told you she liked me too. And I'm just like, shut up, Jacob. And like, keep making comments like this. And then Bella, I can't remember exactly what she says, but she's just like, this is bullshit. I've barely been able to hold her for all of a freaking minute, and you already think you have some Wolfie claim on her.
Yeah.
And he says, I can share her. And I'm pretty sure at worst, when I read this like a decade ago, I probably would have been at most annoyed, but probably mildly annoyed, because I think if I was actually like annoyed, I'd have more of a memory of it. So I was probably mildly annoyed at Jacob just cutting in, like at worst. I was so deep offended by this.
Yeah, no, as an adult, so as a kid, that like went over my head.
Yeah.
I don't remember it.
No.
As an adult, as someone who, like, I don't have kids, as someone who wants kids, I would stab.
Oh, I told Stixie about that conversation in the book, and I'm like, what would you do if a daughter was like 3 days freaking old and someone like just said we had a person like Jacob in our lives, hypothetically, all that, and then he says to you, but I can share her with you, and he goes, I wouldn't care if I was only a human. I don't think he would have a head for much longer.
I mean,
like,
well, because Jacob, you can't live without her. She didn't imprint on you.
Yeah, she'd get over it.
And then go both ways, sweetie.
I was so freaking mad. Like, I texted you guys and I got told I had to read this.
It was hilarious.
So the whole text is, I'm just past Bella holding her for the second time since getting all stony, aka like, because their skin is described as stone-like. And my God, honestly, Jacob's lucky that Bella's that kid's mother, because all of his little fucking comments, but like, I can share her. Oh, really, Jacob? You'll be kind enough to share a 3-day-old baby with her fucking parents? How very gracious of you, you chuckle fucking dolt.
It's such a good. You chuckle fucking dolt. What does that even mean?
Oh, well, a chuckle fuck is a thing. And
I called someone a chuckle fuck recently. Addie.
I don't remember that. I don't think I caught it.
I called someone very specific a chuckle fuck. One moment.
Yeah, I was about to say, tell me who you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So then they get the cabin and sex fest.
Yes. So yeah, they get like a cute little cottage thing, like, which like is cute. And yeah, they bone all night. Which apparently if you're a vampire fucking a vampire, you don't break the bed.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
I guess.
break the bed harder?
That's what.
Yeah, that's what I think. Also, apparently, it takes like years normally for vampire lovers to stop wanting to fuck all the time.
Yeah, it took like Rosalie and Emmett like a decade before anyone could be around them.
Yeah.
Which, if any couple was going to be like that, yeah, it would be.
It would be Yeah,
it would be Rosalie and Emmett.
And I loved Emmett in the next scene that he's in, because they go back to the house to see the baby. Like, she's the only reason they stop fucking, because they're like, oh, it's Renesmee time. And Emmett's just like, so it's the cottage you're rocking? And they're like, shut up. He's like, wait, it's still standing? Like, Rose, how many houses did we destroy? How many, Rose? There was a lot. And your little tiny cottage is still standing? Fucking prudes. Like.
Oh, I see. I just didn't catch it, I guess. Didn't catch it.
But also, what was really weird about switching back to Bella's head, Bella's horny thoughts. it's a fucking lot, okay? Because she's just constantly like, I guess I was kind of hungry, but also Edward's dick. And it's like, Bella, this is a YA novel.
Yeah, like
and there's so many times as well, like her perspective is really skewed because, like, at the end, right? Like, I get, like if the love of my life dies, I too shall wish I was dead, type thing, right? However, you know what happens after you have kids?
That kind of changes.
It becomes, if my children die, I too shall die.
yeah.
No, I would rather leave my daughter orphaned, being looked after by her future husband, and I will die with the love of my life.
Yeah, you lose like the desire to die.
Because you still have a reason to live. Like, your child is your reason to live.
Yeah, and also for a lot of people too, usually if you still have, people like siblings and other family members, like in real life, most people have also, by the way, this is healthy, have other fucking reasons to live, even if you don't have kids.
Like, guaranteed, if your spouse was to die, sure, like, you'd be devastated. Part of you would wish you were gone too, especially if you've been in a long relationship. They've been together for 1.5 years, which would also be
most of that she was catatonic.
Yeah, like, it would be completely heartbreaking, heart-wrenching, soul crushing, all of that stuff. But you got your reasons to make it through the day, unless you're Bella and your child's not a good enough reason to live.
But
like,
also,
can you imagine being Renesmee, knowing that you are not enough of a reason for either of your parents to want to live without the other? It's like, oh, okay. Like,
also, yeah, and like, here's the thing, IRL, like, unless your parents are abusive shitheads, but assuming you have parents that love you, your parents love you, so maybe don't self-dead just because your boyfriend of 1.5 years dies. Friends have reasons to live, people. It's healthy. Okay? Okay.
And also, like, for Charlie's sake, right? Like, if you and die, Jacob, like, because Renee's still, like, in her 30s. Like, she could still have a kid with Phil. He probably would like to have a kid because all he's had is, like, this bratty, angsty teenage daughter that finally fucked off. Charlie, he's starting to move. Like, he's moved on by the end of the book, but I feel like
he has a new girlfriend by the end of the book.
But I don't see him and Sue having any kids. So, like, you and Renesmee are literally all he has. And if you die and Jacob had to take Renesmee to frickin' Brazil, poor Charlie.
Yeah.
Like, he would have lost his daughter and his granddaughter
all at once.
Like, it's a bit harsh.
Not cool, bro.
No.
She's still 18 in her head. I don't know. I didn't have a child when I was 18. I don't really.
I think most people that have children at 18 grow the fuck up pretty quick.
Yeah.
Maybe because she vamped before she parented. Like, she gave birth and then immediately vamped, so she didn't have the chance to mature as a parent.
Yeah.
Like, ignoring 16 and pregnant as a sample size.
Yeah, but that obviously they're like, where's the trashiest fucks we can find? Okay, done. You get to be on TV. Because a bunch of kids being responsible is not good entertainment. Sorry, go.
Just say things like that.
That's something I texted her.
She said some shady shit about someone we know personally, which was accurate shady shit. Just a dumb bitch with a coke habit.
Ah, fun. Good times.
Yeah.
And lots of
Who-
kids.
Well, so she has one that she pawned off to her older brother, and she is apparently pregnant again, but it's been a long time since that was announced. And there has been no news about it since it was announced.
So maybe it was an attention pregnancy.
Wait, she doesn't have a coke habit?
She does.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Or
I'd have to ask around, but I'm pretty sure she does.
you know what? I read the text
You
wrong.
don't ask her directly because that's a bit rude.
Well, that I haven't spoken to her directly since probably 8th grade.
At one point, she did.
Yeah,
And I know she did.
Well, that's why her first kid went to her brother. That's why she pawned it off to her brother.
Probably
Drugs.
better for the kid.
Yeah.
She tried to give it to her fucking 80-year-old parents. And her 80-year-old parents were like, "We're not raising another you. Are you kidding me? You were the worst decision we've ever made."
So she was adopted, and her parents were
very old.
Because when we say 80, we mean
I'm not exaggerating. They're actually 80 years old.
Like they were 80 at the time, and they were like, "No,
Yeah,
you're
well,
on,
I mean,
you're on coke, and no."
Like 69, I've obviously had to have the conversation of if we both, where do our children go?
Yeah,
and like they see his grandparents regularly. Like every week, his nan comes and takes them for a day, all that stuff. And outside of us, like they're probably the most, paternalish figures in their lives. It's like, but we can't give them custody because they're, almost 80. And that's too old to be looking after little kids.
Yeah.
Like, you don't give an 80-year-old person a toddler.
Right.
And say, raise this, please.
she has a TikTok.
Is it under her real name?
No. I'll text it to you.
Send it to me.
Because I want to know if she's still pregnant. Okay, I'm nosy.
I love high school.
Because she doesn't look like she's in her most recent video she's posted on her Instagram. Because she posts her TikToks to Instagram. And I don't know, man. I don't know.
It
I don't know.
didn't.
How long ago did she announce?
I just sent you her username. I don't remember exactly when. Yeah, let me make sure my follows down. I'm gonna search for her.
Send me a screenshot of the vid, and I will tell you if there's any sign of
signs. Excuse me, will you send that screenshot, please? There it goes.
How does she look the same as she did when we were like in 8th grade?
Well, that's also the thing. So like during her first pregnancy, she gained a lot down in her chin. And it went away after she gave birth.
Her face doesn't look swollen. She doesn't look because that's one thing that you don't usually get told about pregnancy. But like, I think out a pregnant actress in a show or movie before, like, because their face, you just see it get wider and their neck get thicker.
I guess it's been long enough that I've heard that she gave birth to the second child.
Oh, okay.
Because it says mommy of 2 boys in her bio. So yeah, she's procreated twice.
Okay.
I think there's 2 different fathers as well. There was a rumor around in like 7th grade that she got an abortion in 7th grade too. Like,
there was a girl that I went
Which I'm not sure that was necessarily true.
I don't think that was necessarily true, but at the same time,
because we were friends with her in 7th grade, And
none of this is true, but
I
there were
know because we
surprises.
had a talk with her in 7th grade, and none of us has had sex yet.
Yeah, there was a girl that I went to school with that like 2-3 times a year she was pregnant, had a miscarriage. I'm air quoting it because
Yeah.
it was usually after she'd been with a new boyfriend for about a month or 2.
That sounds like a person with some problems.
Yeah.
She was just an attention-seeking whore.
Yeah.
And like I get it as well because like she kind of looks like a rodent. So like I guess anything to keep him sticking around. But yeah, it was like the first time everyone was like, oh my god, and then we were like, oh my god, we're so sad for you because like we're kids and we're like, oh, it's sad that you lost a baby even though like we're 13. But like by the 5th and 6th one and stuff, like it'd be like so and so's pregnant again, and it's like, oh really? How long until she miscarries this one? And she'd be in school like the day after she supposedly miscarried, and like you don't go to school the next day. Like you don't just rock up to school. Like maybe like if you have a really simple one, but like when you've had a good dozen by the time you graduate, you're not rocking up to school the next day after everyone.
And typically there's like a reason why women will like not announce that they are pregnant until after the first trimester.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that it's not like, and like it's been confirmed as well into adulthood that she doesn't have issues procreating because she's got multiple children now.
Yeah.
So that even more solidified, because also like when you're a teenager, like yeah, accidental pregnancies happen, sure, but like between 12 to 16 in 6 years, like after the first one, you generally like 1, maybe 2. But like after that, like you're wearing a condom on like every freaking time.
Yeah.
You're not going up into the double digits of accidental pregnancies in high school.
No, you don't.
But back to book, I guess.
Yes. Okay. After that brief intermission.
Yeah. So some time passes. They're understandably concerned about Renesmee's rapid growth. They're like, look,
yeah, because she can talk and hunt.
Yeah, like even with her growth slowing down, she's gonna be dead, like die of old age in less than a decade. And like her first word was actually like a full sentence. And then like one night Bella's just reading her a bedtime story, and then Renesmee's like, like, I'm gonna hold the book, mommy, and then she just starts reading it, and Bella's like, what the fuck, you like 3 weeks old and you're reading me fucking Faulkner. It's a bit much. And then they're like, well, we'll go down to Brazil or South America or whatever, because the cleaning lady seemed to have some sort of idea. So there's people down there that seem to have at least some kind of knowledge about this kind of thing. So like, we're going to go and get some info, which they're being responsible. It's fair. So I think they're all got like all of the Cullens plus Jacob. They're all going, oh, we missed Charlie.
Yeah. And
the day after. Yeah, the day after she wakes up as a vampire, they get back to the house, and Jacob's gone. And they're like, where's Jacob? And they're like, oh, he said he had something to do. And he comes back, and Edward's furious, and everyone's like, what's going on, Edward? Because like he can hear Jacob's thought like long before he gets there. It's like he told Charlie, and they're like, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because Jacob thought the Cullens were planning to move away, and he was like, well, I can't fucking let that happen. Yeah, that's my girl.
Yeah, more or less to keep it from Charlie.
Yeah.
So he goes and tells Charlie about himself.
Yeah.
And Charlie, he's a good boy. He just looks at Jacob and he's like, I kind of don't want to know any more about this. Thank you. And he's like, well, you kind of have to because Bella's a bit different too. And he's like, is she a wolfy thing too? And he's like, no, but she's different. And as long as you don't ask any, like, if you're happy living on a need-to-know basis, then they can stick around a bit longer.
Yeah. Also, the packs are all good now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The packs are all good. Quill and Embry joined Jacob's pack. Jacob's Bonifer and Esme formed a true alliance of all the wolves with Cullens.
Which
Bonifer and Esme is stronger than his Bonifer Bella.
Well, but honestly, my boner for your mom was like rock hard, right? My boner for you
is diamond hard.
Could like smash armies. Anyway,
could smash missile-proof glass.
There you go. But you would think that like the fact that there are 2 packs would be an issue.
Yeah.
Well, that was a big issue, like in Jacob's chapters. He was like, after like this is done, I'm gonna have to leave. We can't have LaPush is too small a town for 2 alphas.
It would have to be.
But like, now it's fine.
It can't.
Yeah, but now it's fine.
But now it's fine. He has a boner for a baby.
Yeah, it's fine.
But the like other pack,
it's fine.
The other pack would have no reason to give a fuck.
It's fine.
No,
it's fine. Don't ask questions. It's fine.
How come nothing in this series has any kind of consequence of anything?
It's fine.
How can you have 2 rival packs? One's just getting off members. I don't understand. Okay.
Honestly, though, I kind of wish that Stephanie Meyer made published some short stories about stuff, because a lot of the information, like backstory we have on different characters, are all just answered on her website, and I'm like,
yeah, it's just epic.
Like, why Mark? Like, we'll talk more about the Valkyrie when we get to them, but why Marcus is just so apathetic all the time? There's a reason why. But it's never mentioned in the books, but it's canon.
Yeah.
And just like, well, you know what would be a pretty cool story to read? How that happened.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of kind of interesting shit, but because we're just stuck with Bella.
Is Marcus the guy that in the elaborately long Alice vision where everyone dies, where he goes, finally, and just accepts death? That's yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Because like he's the one that in the book is like, I see no reason to kill the girl. And in the second book, he's like, I see no reason to not let them leave.
Yeah.
He's the Volturi that can sense relationships. Do you want to know why he's so apathetic? I'll tell you. Because did you notice it as well? Like when the wives get mentioned, when the Volturi come, there's only 2 of them. There's 3 Volturi, but there's only 2 wives. Well, Marcus was mated to Aro's sister.
Mm-hmm. And
her name was like Didyme. And I think like epic love story, happiest in the world. And I'm guessing, I think they wanted to leave, but because Marcus's power is so strategically important, Aro was like, well, we can't have Marcus leave. So, and because we've also seen as well that Chelsea, the one who can bind people and break bindings and stuff like that, she has a heart of, she can't do like break a mate bond type thing. She can't do that. So Aro kills his own sister. Marcus doesn't know that he kills her, but Aro kills his own sister, so Chelsea can bind Marcus's loyalty to the Volturi. And so he's just kind of like just stuck in like this grief-stricken state where he can't leave.
So that's why in the fake vision he just goes, finally.
Yeah, and that's why as well he seems to be the most Team Edward of Team Bella, Team Cullen thing, because he's just like, this is beautiful and I miss having that.
I miss happiness. I miss feeling things. I just want to feel something.
Yeah, so that's why he's like the most on their side of the Volturi, because he can sense how much they love each other, and he's like, well, I can't break that up. So, but it's also why he just doesn't give a fuck about anything, because he's just like as apathetic as can be because he's stuck. So Ara's a dick.
Yeah, I don't like him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Charlie comes by.
And they're like, hi, this is my niece.
Yeah, Edward's like, she's my niece. I had an older brother who was adopted out to another family, and him and his missus. So like, I took her in, and Charlie's like, can you not lie to me? Like, I get that you're not telling me everything, but can you just not fucking lie?
Yeah, like.
And they're like, well, look, it's kind of important for you to know the public story.
Yeah.
Like, I guess, but also like, so yeah, Charlie's not a dum-dum. He sees Renesmee, he's like,
he's like, those are my daughter's eyeballs.
Yeah, that is the perfect combination of Bella and Edward. So can you not? And then Bella's like, she has your curls, Charlie. And he's like, yeah, I guess she does. I'm a grandpa. And he's like super stoked.
Yeah.
And yeah, so they get to have a Charlie now. He knows that Renesmee's special. She does her face talking thing to him, but she never talks. Like, we find out later, she's never spoken a word to Charlie. Like, even like weeks later, she just doesn't talk to him. She just
touches his
might
face.
talk to him. And she's gonna be she's gonna be the most spoiled, brattiest brat of all the brats. Because no one can ever say no to her because she's just so irresistibly cute. But then
time passes.
Yeah. Jacob, Bella, and Renesmee are out doing a hunty hunt. And Jacob's like, I'm going to beat you to the elk, and does a and wolfs out, and then they speed off. And Bella's like, lol, my daughter, my best friend's future son-in-law. And I will say as well, though, to book Jacob's credit, when she mentions, like, earlier on, like, you think you're going to be part of my family as my son-in-law, he's repulsed. He's like, Bella, she's a baby. Like, my mind isn't going there. Why is your mind going there? You freaking
Why would you say that?
And
also, like, to backtrack a little bit, there is a moment where Bella's like, Edward, why the fuck aren't you mad? And Edward's not mad because Edward can read Jacob's mind, and he knows that
it's
Jacob
all pure.
isn't looking at this baby like,
yeah, he isn't like, hi, my dick is so hard right now looking at this baby. This is not how he feels.
No, and like, even at the end of the book, when they find out that Renesmee, like, in about 6.5 years, she's going to be a full-grown woman, Edward even points out to Bella, like, Jacob's mind hasn't even, like, he was relieved that she's going to stop aging, and that's as far as his thought process went.
Yeah.
Just relief that she wasn't going to die of old age before she was 10. So,
yeah.
Whereas movie Jacob, because also in the book, Edward says, like, Jacob, my brother, my son. And I'm just like, that's a bit weird, Edward, but sure.
That was quick character development, Eddie.
Yeah.
But, like, Bella and Edward, for the most part, are the only ones that have gone down that they're going to get married someday thought process. Whereas like movie Jacob, when the day is saved and it's all over, Jacob like, this is another reason why their relationship is so creepy in the movies. Jacob looks at Edward and goes, should I start calling you dad?
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, she's 6 years old, Jacob, like, physically. She's 6.
Yeah, Jacob doesn't even so in the books, like, it's obviously it's weird.
Yeah.
But it's not written that weird.
Yeah, and we get a scene early in Jacob's part of the book where he's with Quill, who is imprinted with the 3-year-old. And Jacob's like, have you ever thought about dating? Like, obviously you don't want to bone the kid, you know? And Quill's just like, look, dating is like, dating is the last thing on my mind. I'm just not interested. All I want to do is just help her find her seashells right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's my priority in life, helping Claire find her seashells. And then tomorrow my priority will be helping her paint the perfect pony. Like,
yeah, like I'm not here for pedophilia. I'm just here for
like he's like, my
friendship.
dick is so limp and will be limp until the day that she asks for it to be rock hard.
Yeah,
And
like
on that day, I
and you
will.
actually see like a long drawn out scene of Quill and Claire. So she's like actually like, I want like purple ones, and he's like, that's not a thing, but I've got green ones, and she's like, yeah, and he's like, here you, and it's like a whole thing.
Yeah.
And Jacob's like, he's more into parenting than parents are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like Jacob's also just like, this is disgusting. Like, how can you be like have this freaking kid on your shoulders demanding all the seashells and not even roll your eyes once?
Now I'll understand.
Yes. Luckily for Jacob, he doesn't have to deal with any of that shit. Because Renesmee's too mature.
Yeah. So as they're hunting, Irina,
she is
from another clan.
Yeah, she's from the Denali Coven. She didn't come to the wedding because she's still butthurt at the werewolves because I guess her and Laurent mated. Or were.
Yes. Yeah, they were a thing.
Yeah, or I don't know if they actually mated or if they were just like super close, super friends with probable benefits.
Yeah, I think they are mates.
Yeah, but she's Alice knew that she was thinking about coming to try and make amends with the Cullens, but then yeah, she's there.
Yes, Laurent and Irina were mates.
Yeah, and then Bella's like, "Oh, look, that must be Irina because she's got the gold eyes, but I don't recognize her." And so Bella like goes to do a wave, and then she's like she looks over at Jacob and Renesmee, and then she hisses at Bella, and then she yeets, and Bella's like, "Well, fuck." So at the moment, they're thinking that Irina's like butthurt about the wolf thing still.
Yeah, but instead she's actually telling the Volturi that the Cullens have an immortal child.
Yes, which from her perspective,
fair
I think.
Yeah.
Because also, like with the backstory about their vampire mother and stuff, like because of what happened with her, like they are like really, really to a fault law abiding. But like Alice at least like has the vision of her struggling. Like she has visions of her struggling to decide what to do. She's torn between her love of the Cullens versus doing the right thing. And she eventually chooses to do the right thing. And then Alice has a vision of the Volturi coming. And then Alice starts acting really weird, just screaming at Edward, "I can't see, stop talking to me. You guys have to get witnesses and do a thing to show that she's growing. And Jasper and I are going to have to go and run an errand real quick and we'll be right back." But then they don't come back.
Yep.
And so they follow their scent trail and they run into Sam. And Sam's like, "Oh, Alice and Jasper asked for permission last night to go through the territory, asked me to wait here and give you a note because I'm an errand boy now. Here's the
I'm
note."
an errand pup.
Yep. And so they read the note and she's like, it was torn out of one of Bella's books.
In the cabin that they got, yeah.
And Bella could tell because it had her scent on it. And it was just like, find these people, like more or less, here's what you got to do.
Yeah.
And, then Bella's like, "I want to go back to the cabin." So she goes back to the cabin, finds that book, and then sees an address and someone's a name on it.
Yeah, J. Scott or J. Jenks.
J. Jenks, and insert random Seattle address here.
Yeah.
And then she burns the book because Alice also lit a fire, so she could burn the book real quick. And then he was like, "Why the fuck did you burn your book?" She's like, "Alice wrote the note on this," and he's like, "Yeah, but why did you burn it?" She's like, "It felt fitting." Okay, Edward.
I just did it. Don't ask me questions, Eddie.
Yeah. So Then most of the Cullens all fuck off to go find people.
Yeah.
So it's the Denali Coven's coming the next day.
She
So
goes
then-
and meets with Jay Jenks.
Yeah, well, they've started to have Vampy Vamps come. They slowly introduce, like, just hear us out stuff, and then they, like, tell them, and then they show Renesmee, and they're like, but listen, before you freak out, she's got a heartbeat, now let her touch your face. And so we start to get all these people coming in. And
Yeah.
the second they touch her, they're like, oh, she's the best thing ever.
Yeah, this kid's gonna have an ego the size of the Empire State Building.
Oh, God, yeah. More like that freaking building in Dubai.
Yeah.
And then the two random Amazonian vampires show up, and they're like, how the fuck did you? None of us went to the Amazon. And so they thought that was a bit weird, but they're like, yeah, fair. I guess Alice, what the fuck are Alice and Jasper doing down there? But I guess that's where they are. And then, then she drops Renesmee and Jacob off at Charlie's place. And then she's like, I have to go do Christmas shopping. So she goes to Seattle, goes to the address, and they're like, this is only for his shady business. And she's like, okay. So then she goes and actually meets him and realizes by that point that it's for papers.
Yeah.
And Bella, bless her, she actually, like, her brain actually worked well in this scene.
For once.
What she was supposed to do. So she asked for ID for Renesmee and Jacob, and
To yeet.
yeah. So, so then she set that up. She goes home. She's sad, but she got a locket for Renesmee. Then it's Christmas. They go to Charlie's. Sue is always at Charlie's house, making him food and baking him cookies and shit. So yeah, they
Got
have
a lovely little girlfriend.
Yeah, they have Christmas there. Some of the vampires, so like one of them can shock you with her skin. One of the Amazonians can make you see whatever she wants you to see.
Yeah. There's the Avatar.
Yeah.
One of them's the Avatar.
I'm guessing though that Kate's skill is she's not actually like Jane. She's not actually electric shocking you. She just makes you feel like you're being electric shocked.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't work on Bella.
Yeah.
We find out that Bella is what is called a shield, which means she has a defensive thing.
And she can extend it out to other people, so they start training.
Yeah. And she's having a hard time with it. So then Kate tricks her into thinking that she's gonna shock Renesmee. And then she looks over at Edward and she was like, "Can you hear Renesmee's thoughts?" And Edward's like, "No, but that was really, really harsh, Kate." That was a bit much. But yeah, Bella's having a hard time getting it to work consistently. So they're just like, "Look, we can't really count on it."
Yeah, so it's like, we'll use it in a pinch if it works. We won't rely on it. And the Volturi.
Then the Volturi rock up, and they're just like, "We can't wait for the Volturi to meet them."
Oh god, I loved them in the fucking movie because they were just so ridiculous and they were so obviously fucking. Like those two Romanian dudes have been butt buddies for like centuries, and I love it and I ship it, and I'm so happy for them.
I love that they're. You know what though? Because she's Mormon, we know that was not intentional.
No.
Well, I don't remember if it was like that in the book, but like I know in the movie
they're into that sort of thing.
Yeah. But then Renesmee asked the question we've all been wondering for years, because their skin is like the Volturi's, but their eyes are still clear, unlike the Volturi's, because there's a milky red. Renesmee's just like, why is your skin like that? And we're like, oh, thank Christ, someone asked. And effectively, they just sat still for a very long time. They just didn't move. That was it. So it was kind of a letdown, but also like it could have just been because we're fucking like 3 millennia old. That would have worked. But no, they just sat still for centuries.
Why is their skin's like what now?
Like, you know how like the Volturi have like that oniony, papery skin?
Yes.
These guys have it too.
just because they're old.
And it's from sitting still for a very long time.
Does it go away?
Huh?
Does it go away?
I don't think so, because I don't think these guys have been doing much sitting still since. Because these guys used to be the vampire rulers, and then the Volturi overthrew them.
So that's why they're like, we want a fight with the Volturi. Let's murder. Let's go.
So sitting still for a long time makes you.
Yep, but apparently the Volturi sat still longer because their eyes went milky. But these two, the Volturi roused them from their sitting stillness before their eyes went milky. So they're like, that's one thing we can thank the Volturi for. At least our eyes aren't all foggy and milky visioned. That's the explanation we're given. That's what we have to work with.
It's so weird. I don't know why I missed that.
Because they sat still.
I guess I had zoned out at that part.
And then
Volturi are here now, right? Can they be here?
They know it's coming, but also one of the other witnesses, Garrett, he's like he'll try anything once, and so he's like hitting up Kate a lot and asking her about
Yes. Oh, I love that little that budding romance there.
Yeah.
They're just like, I'll follow you anywhere.
At the end, he's like, if we survive this, I will go anywhere with you. I'll do it. I will eat all the elk you want me to.
Bless you.
Yes, bless you.
Thank you.
COVID.
I get in trouble off of daughter.
Corona.
Whenever someone sneezes, because she also does the sneezing platitudes for coughing as well. And if she sneezes or coughs and I don't say Gesundheit, I get in trouble.
Sometimes, when somebody coughs, but it sounds sort of like a sneeze, and I can't tell, I'm just like,
yeah. If I say bless you, I get in trouble. I have to say Gesundheit. She says it wrong. She says Ascente. She was like, no, mommy, say Ascente. And it took me a minute, but then I worked out from the context. I'm like, are you saying Gesundheit? And she goes, yes. I don't know where she got it from. But we're also talking about the child who has one of the thickest American accents.
What
where
a
did
child.
she get an American accent?
I don't know if she'll grow out of it or not. We'll see. But she has one. And yeah, she also says Gesundheit now. And I don't know why. But
that's funny.
Yeah, and she likes to script our conversations, but yeah, I also always get in trouble if I don't Gesundheit her post sneeze. She's cried a couple times. Like she hasn't said anything, and then about 5 minutes later, she was crying. And I'm like, "What's wrong?" And she goes, "I sneezed, and you didn't say Gesundheit."
That's not like the standard. She's gonna have to learn that. Oh God.
Smart children are a little bit of a nightmare.
Oh, Jesus. Sometimes you just want to.
You just want to be like, can your IQ just for a day?
How do I make you stupider? Please.
Let's see.
She's great.
Probably a little too young to watch Love Island, isn't she?
Huh?
So she's probably a little bit too young to watch Love Island, isn't she?
That's a good way to drop off some IQ points.
Or Jersey Shore.
I can put on my Super Sweet 16 for her, but that might teach you bad habits.
Ooh, yeah.
So would Love Island and Jersey Shore. Jersey Shore taught me some bad habits.
Unfortunately, the shows that are designed to like that inherently will drop your IQ. Also, are either overly debaucherous, or they're overly bratty, or some combination of the two.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I'll just clip together all the Cletus clips from The Simpsons, because I feel like that might be the only.
Somebody do it.
My boyfriend is home, and our son is losing his fucking shit.
I hear him. I hear Jinxie.
I want a puppy so bad.
I'm really excited. My boyfriend told me that once he is in like a better place living wise and stuff like that, he's gonna get a dog, and I'm so excited because it's gonna be our dog.
I just wish that my cat didn't hate any other living animal.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of with her, because I'm like, she's not gonna like dogs, dude. I'm gonna tell you this right now. She's a brat.
Like, I think my cat liked my old dog, but that's because he was like blind, deaf, and couldn't smell by the time she came around. So he couldn't. He just slept, and then so she got to like form a relationship with him on her terms because he just slept half the day. Whereas like if I get a dog, it's going to start off as a puppy, and yeah, I want to get a Great Dane, and those are couch potatoes, and they're really good dogs long term to be around cats because they're pretty chill.
Yeah.
But they have a puppy stage, so I don't get to Great Dane until I don't have cat, which I'm not looking like. It's kind of like I really want a dog, but I also don't want my cat to die.
Yeah.
So I'm just like stuck in that situation right now.
Well, we've talked about when we move out getting like a second dog for Jinx. And I'm excited. I want a second dog. I want another puppy.
I want another cat. I want another cat. And if I get a kitten, I know she'll love it since she has children.
I did. We all heard
My
it.
cat hates cats. She hates dogs. She wants to eat birds.
What is that?
She likes fish because she can sleep on top of their fish tank and get all warm.
They were literally out.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't get to have any other pets while I've got my cat. So that's fun. Because daughter is asking for a dog now. I'm like, I'm sorry. Millie won't let us have, like we can't. Millie won't let us have another cat, but cats can go to heaven. My daughter said, but cats can go to heaven, and I use Millie as an excuse why we can't get a dog.
Oh no.
Your daughter's gonna kill your cat.
No, she loves Millie too much. She absolutely adores Millie. To the point where she has kidnapped her and left her in a wardrobe a few times just so Millie would sleep in her room.
Those look so good right now. I remember those in 7th
Oh,
grade.
they're good.
Yeah, they're delicious.
You can separate them.
Yeah.
If you want to.
The 7th grade Valentine's Day sale.
Are you eating it properly?
What?
How are you eating it?
I don't know. How are you supposed to eat it?
Show me how you're eating it. Is he showing you
Not doing it.
correct way to eat?
It's not doing it.
Oh, he tried.
Is it
You
supposed to?
You ripped the colors.
It's not doing it.
Well, that's fine. Then you can eat it however you want.
Hey,
Oh,
See how that one
kind of.
kind of doing it.
that is how you eat rainbow straps.
It's like a Kit Kat. There's a proper way and the wrong.
He knows what's what. He can stay.
Yeah.
Stixie bites into them, and it creeps me out.
Kit Kats?
No,
Those.
rainbow straps. Or
It's
whatever
yum.
you guys call them there. I don't know. They have about 30 different names.
Can you hand me that
You
water?
know, if he bit into Kit Kats,
They are kind of strong.
we wouldn't have bread.
Yeah, I was about to say, would you not have had kids with him? If
Yeah,
he
you
bit
can't
into Kit Kats?
you can't breed with someone who eats a Kit Kat wrong. Do you eat Kit Kats wrong?
Occasionally.
Why the fuck would you
when
do
I
it?
can't be bothered to do it right.
Yeah, I
No.
mean, agreed.
If you can't
I
do it,
recognize that it's the
do you
wrong
guys have Kit Kat
way, and
chunkies over
sometimes
there?
I do it anyway.
Kit Kat what?
Chunkies.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Like the really thick, long ones where it's just like one thing and it's got,
One time,
you can break it into
Yes.
three if you want.
Yeah.
If you're too lazy to eat a Kit Kat correctly, just get a chunky.
Instead of like from the end.
We can't breed. He said he ate a Kit Kat from the side.
Doing it to torture someone?
What?
Was he doing it to torture someone?
Did you do it to torture someone?
Yes.
Yes.
I guess.
Oh, then that's fine.
Okay.
But sometimes, just like
No.
if I'm driving and I can't be bothered to break it apart.
Yeah,
will-
I mean that's fair if you're driving.
Okay, driving is fine.
No, you know what you do then? If you can't be bothered, you break it off with your teeth. You hold your hand up, break it off with your teeth.
Kit Kats like you get for Halloween, I don't break those. I just
What, the little baby Kit Kats?
Yeah.
I'm mixed on how you eat those. Like, I still break them, but I think I can accept someone.
I
not
think
breaking
I can deal. I think I can live with that situation.
But he does need to learn how to Kit Kat eat while driving, or just refrain from doing so.
Okay.
Look, though.
Yes,
I
the
guess-
Volturi here, right?
Yeah,
What
so
the fuck do you do to Zimschnecke?
yeah, so Bella has gotten the passport crap.
You know what? Later. We're talking about Breaking Dawn.
Yeah, we need to finish this.
We have to finish this. We're so
Bella-
fucking close.
Yeah, we're close.
The stuff, and she's hiding it, obviously, because she's the only one whose mind is safe. Because
Yeah.
if Laura reads Edward's mind, he knows what everyone has thought, so she can't talk to anyone. And then they're like, oh, they're gonna come to the baseball field, so because that's what Alice saw. So they go to the baseball field, they camp out there because they're gonna come tomorrow because the snow's sticking.
Yeah.
So they camp out, and then Bella's like gives Renesmee a backpack, and it's got like letters, like one for like letters for people like Charlie, Renee, Alice, and Jasper,
Yeah.
Jacob, all that. And she puts it on Renesmee's back, and like more or less tells her without actually saying it, like, you know, like, you're protected, like no matter how this turns out, you're gonna be fine type thing.
Yeah. There's like wads of cash in there too. Like,
Yeah, like,
it's
and
an
not
escape bag.
for at least a couple of years.
Yeah.
Also, there's a letter in there that she wrote like really big, I guess, in the hopes that Alice would read it in like her head, but it's also for Jacob, saying Rio de Janeiro, meaning like go there.
Yeah.
And then they all line up, all the Vampy Vamps line up, and Jacob, and that's it. So they line up. The Volturi are coming, and they're like, and they've got their own witnesses. So there's a big group of people, and then they're like, they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. And then Sam and all the other wolves come out, and there's like 16 wolves now. And then the Volturi are like, wait, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, they're like, why do we have puppies?
So and then they stop like at opposite ends of the field, and it's like, hello, because they can talk over long distances, so they can still whisper to each other. They're like, hello, Carlisle. Hello, Aro. My friend, why are you trying to fight us? We're not trying to fight you. They are but witnesses. Witnesses to what? It'd be easier if we showed you, dear friend. Okay, Edward.
Commence showing.
Yep, so Edward and Aro meet in the middle, and he reads Edward's mind, and he's like, oh, but it is not an immortal child. But Edward's also already told the others as well, they're coming to kill us no matter what we do. Like, they've got contingencies, which end up being pretty shaky, like all of them. All of them are shaky as fuck. Like, you would think that the Volturi, having been around as long as they are and as political as they are, would have had better backup plans. But they didn't.
It's fine. Nothing has consequences in this
No,
series.
nothing has consequences.
Yeah, nothing
So,
matters.
Who cares? So once they're like, oh, we've been misinformed.
Bella also realizes, because she sees Jane, and she's like, no, I don't want Edward to get shocked. And then she realizes that the thing that was holding her shield back was nothing but her own fear of letting
Because
go.
why bother establishing anything?
So now she's got this super strong shield that has super control. She can shape it to everyone's body, and when they move, the shield just automatically moves with them. Because I guess life and death brought it out of her. I don't know.
But it's not even really life and, like, the thing is, like, knowing just how all this ends, it's never really life and death.
Ever.
It doesn't matter. None of this matters.
But then they're like, Ara's like, he's like, I want to meet the child. So then Bella, Jacob, Emmett, and Renesmee go into the middle while the rest of the Volturi come up and they're like, hello. And she's like, hello, Ara. Lovely to meet you. And it's like, shut up, Renesmee. He wants to eat you. And so then they have a little thing.
The caress of the cheek.
Yes. And then like I can't get movie Ara's ridiculous laugh out of my head.
I know, right? Like every time.
Also, his little like
yeah.
that stupid fucking look on his face
Yeah.
after she touches him, and he's like, marvelous. Like, I'm like, shut up. God.
It is the most maniacal fucking, like, there's no words to describe that laugh. But yeah, so I was like, well, this is marvelous. Think very carefully, Kai. Ponder now. Ponder, and which is like code for like think of a different excuse, motherfucker. And then they're like, but the werewolves, and Edward's like, aha, but they're not really werewolves, they're merely shapeshifters. The wolf form is just purely incidental. And
They're
like,
fucking werewolves.
he's like, do you see the moon? These are not children of the moon, it is but day. So yeah, we find out at the end of the last book that the werewolves are not werewolves. They are merely shapeshifters.
They're werewolves.
They're
whatever.
They're fucking werewolves.
It's like we call it freaking werewolf. Like lupine
I have a question pertaining to
vampire. Like
this is a relevant question.
Yes, Noah. What is your question?
The werewolves in the books, are they like the ones in the movies where they're just big wolves, or did the movies portray them differently?
They're basically the exact same.
That's
Why is it retarded?
because that's not a werewolf.
What's a werewolf?
A proper European
Well,
werewolf.
well, tell him that they're not proper European werewolves. They are merely Native American.
They're not. They're
That's not
Native
like
American.
Anthony.
They're Native.
That's an actual Native American legend.
There's a Native
That's not
American.
a werewolf, though. That's just a skin
Well,
change.
that's what we were just-
No, that's what the Native Americans called them, was werewolves.
Mm-hmm.
They're in Oregon or Washington, right?
Yes, they call them
Again,
werewolves. Though.
is not, which is what those Native American tribes would call a skin changer, is not just a big wolf, and so I have problems. I had that problem when I saw Twilight, like the year it came out.
It's a fucking werewolf.
I don't care.
Anyways, so they murder Irina.
Oh
They
yeah.
murder Irina now.
Oh. Okay, so the where in werewolves,
I hate you
right?
too.
What that means is
You're the worst.
it means adult male human. That's what the where in werewolf means. So it means adult male human wolf.
Wolf.
So
Yeah,
it's phonetic.
it's a werewolf.
They are werewolves. Confirmed.
Literary
By
literally
definition.
accurate. But yeah, so he's like, Irina, is this the child you saw? And she's like, I don't know. It kind of looks like the same child, but she's bigger. He's like,
Yeah.
you shame me. And then like they decide, and then they just rip her apart and kill her.
Burn
And,
her immediately.
yeah, and burn her. And Edward's like, stop them. And Carlisle jumps on like Tanya. Garrett jumps on Kate. And she's shocking the fuck out of him. But he's like, now, motherfucker. And he's like locked himself onto her. And then Ella manages to shield him. And she's like, oh, well, this sucks. And Edward's like, you starting the fight is what they're counting on. You killing all of us isn't going to help Irina now. So then they calm the fuck down. They're sad, but they're not going to attack. And the Volturi are just like, oh, fuck, we did done fuck up. Because, yeah, they were counting on the fight to just eliminate the fact that they just literally killed someone for making a mistake.
Yeah.
Like for seeing like a non-human child and going, it's a vampire child. And so all of their witnesses are starting to be like, this is getting really fucked up. And then like there's speeches and like Garrett's like, see what the Volturi are doing. They are merely here to destroy this family. How dare they? They're scared of our power. And then we shall, and then they just are like, well, we don't know what Renesmee's going to be. So
yeah, when she grows up.
Yep. So what if she magically, like, we know that she's a child with super awesome levels of control. We've seen it through your memories. But what if she just wakes up one day and just doesn't have it anymore? what if she just decides to just not have control anymore? And it's like they're obviously, again, they're grasping at the smallest of straws here. And so they're like, let's
vote.
Let's vote. So they're having a chat. And while this is happening, Jane's like trying to attack people, and Bella like all but like pokes her tongue out at her because she's like, motherfucker, you can't get to any of us. And then Alex is trying to like, because we find out Alex, her twin, his power is he rolls like a fog over them, and they can't
feel anything.
Like all of your senses just go dead.
Yeah.
And so the Volturi are like, well, this is fucking weird. And like all the Cullens and stuff are like, I love you too. And Garrett's like, girl, I'll follow you forever. And Kate's like, now you fucking tell me.
I love that so much.
I shipped that couple more than like almost any other couple in the series.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's
them and the Romanians. I am.
Oh, and Alice and Jasper as well. Like, they're the epitome of couple goals. Let's be honest.
But as they're voting, and like Aro is the last one to cast his vote, Alice and Jasper roll up with a nice little half-breed.
But Edward manages to like fuck Aro over in the meantime. He is like, hey, Aro, so the only reason why you want to kill her is because there's no one else like her, right? Yeah. So if we could prove that she's going to be just fine, you're not going to try and kill her or us, right? And he's like, no. And he's like, excellent. Alice, come on out. And everyone starts applauding for
Everyone's
Alice.
applauding. Like the sign starts flickering, saying applause. Everyone's like,
there's a studio audience and everything. And it's like, God damn it, what's that movie? I had the joke.
What, it's like in Shrek when they hold up the applause thing?
No, it's like the Truman Show. And Arrow's the only person who didn't know that this was all a TV show.
Oh, yeah.
He's the only one who had no idea. It's like that.
Yeah. Oh, also before that, because Renesmee's been like backpacking on Bella. Bella had put like Renesmee on Jacob's bag, and Bella's like, Jacob, when the fighting starts, run. Everything is in the bag, and Edward's like, what the fuck? and
Edward's like, what?
So they say good. Everyone starts saying goodbye, like we're all gonna die. And then then the Alice slow clap moment happens, and she walks out and she's like, "Hi, by the way, Renesmee's not the only one. I found one. And then so the guy comes up and
she found freaking 4 of them.
Yeah,
well, he's like,
he brought one, and he's got like 3 sisters, and he's like, yeah, so I'm venomous. My sisters aren't, and they're like, your sisters? He's like, yeah, my dad's been a busy boy. And this is my aunt. I accidentally bit her like when I was like, a minute old. But then we kind of grew up as vampires together, and we did a hunty hunt, and now we live together, and it's fun. And they're like, so what's the go? And he's like, oh, well, at about 7 years old, we stopped aging, and then like I can eat.
I'm 150 years old.
Yeah, I'm old as fuck. I feel like I'm still in control of myself. Like, I don't cause a ruckus.
I mean, y'all didn't even know we were alive.
Yeah, like you didn't even know about me and my sisters. There could be more. I don't know. And then the Volturi are just like, well, fuck. I guess.
Deuces.
I guess we'll leave then. Fuck.
No over dramatic 20-minute fight scene that doesn't matter where everyone dies.
In the theater, you and I were so just like,
yeah, we were like, literally, what the fuck is happening? We did this is not in the book.
Most of the werewolves are dead, and I'm just like,
because they killed Carlisle first, and that's when we were like, whoa.
We were like, no, ma'am.
I already knew that there was a vision sequence in it. So when the fight was happening, like I knew, but it was also like even
knowing, shocking.
It was still just like Carlisle.
There's just a chasm in the earth, and all the wolves are falling into. It was just wild.
And then like Seth dies, and we were like, no, not Seth.
I know. I mean, the chasm in the earth thing does happen in the book, but it happens like when the Volturi are approaching, and Benny Boy he's just mad, and he's like, "Earth open."
Yeah, I guess that's a callback.
Before he left, Because that's where the Cullens play baseball. So I hope he closed the earth back up before he left.
You know what? We're never going to see the field from this point on again.
I know, but it's just rude to chasm the earth and just leave it there.
Can you imagine if they forgot about it, they leave, and they're like, baseball, and then they have to call him. They're like, hey,
can you jump on the next flight?
Can you come fix our baseball field?
That's headcanon. Then the military leave.
Yeah, the Romanians are pissed. They're kind of amused that the Volturi humiliated themselves, but they're pissed. They didn't want to murder like they did in the movies. They just everyone was hugging and they just walked away. Because the movie they full blown tantrum, didn't they? I feel like they did.
I think they had a little wait, what? You're just letting them leave? And the Cullens were like, yeah, we're just letting them leave. And they're like, but we want. Do our wants not matter to you? That's it's just a verbal wait, you're just letting them walk away.
Yeah. So then we jump forward to later that evening. Everyone's left. Garrett's gone off with gone off to live in Denali to be with Kate. Bless him. Yeah, the rest have all gone home. Zephrina, the vampire who could make people see things, her and Renesmee got super close. It was actually pretty cute, because she'd make pretty pictures for Renesmee to look at, and then Renesmee would show her stuff, and so they just communicated.
Yeah, it's a cute little relationship.
Yeah. And then when Zephrina's leaving, she's like, "You have to promise that you will make her come visit me."
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't me. That was the audiobook accent. Okay, it's not my fault.
The audiobook also still bad.
Yeah, Bella, come on, Bells, says the 27-year-old sounding Jacob. Come on, Bells. Hi,
Come
Bella.
on, Bells, come with me.
Bella.
What the fuck are you saying? I don't know the word, but I hear the tone. It's fucking weird.
We're talking about the audiobook narrator and how she goes up and kind of soft for male voices.
Stop.
Yeah, that's what we thought.
That's what that's what we're.
Well, that's not you though. So stop.
Why?
So it ends with
what?
You know what it means when I start doing this.
What?
Don't you?
No.
So it ends with Bella releasing her shield from her mind so Edward can read her mind, and she's like, "I love you, baby." And yeah.
Bella letting Edward into her mind is now their foreplay.
Yes, it is, because he starts aggressively making out with her, but she's like, "Wait, I wanted to tell you something." And then that's really how the book ends. That's the end series.
And they're sunk into the happily ever after.
Yeah, their slice of bliss and they're perfect forever or whatever.
I remember that the last line of the book is it's something.
Really cringy. It's really cringy.
Where is it? Oh, that's pretty cool. At the end of the book, there's a vampire index of the names of all the covens and who's in each coven.
That's pretty cool.
And the ones that have special powers have an asterisk next to them. Which, that's kind of cool. And who they're mated with. But then, the end of the book is, and then we continued blissfully into this small but perfect piece of forever. The end.
Gross. Oh my God. And now we have to go read Midnight Sun, which is the longest of all the books.
I thought Eclipse was.
Yeah, I am avoiding anything
I haven't seen anything about it.
I haven't seen anything. And I know people that have read it. They're just not talking about it. Or I know that I read one thing that was I didn't think Edward would go on this long about this one thing, but I don't remember what the one thing was.
Yeah, we'll see. Because do we know yet if it covers all the books or if it's just Twilight?
I don't know.
Let me look.
Twilight from Edward's perspective, and that could be Twilight or the Twilight Saga. My original understanding of what Midnight Sun was just the first book, but it's so long. It's like more than twice the length of the first book.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to the Wikipedia page, and there's nothing there yet, and it just says this book received mixed reviews.
We'll see.
I'm gonna go to Goodreads.
Yeah.
Avoid the reviews. Let's go into this as freshly blind as possible.
Yeah, and we'll look at the reviews after.
Oh, Stephanie Meyer says more books coming in Twilight Saga as Midnight Sun sells well. We're not done, guys.
No.
If one of them is a prequel where if we get the Aro backstory where he kills his sister / Marcus's mate, I'm kind of down for that.
Yeah, I'm down for that too.
Let me just bring up.
It's only Twilight, because Meyer has stated that Twilight is the only possible book from the series that she plans to rewrite from Edward's perspective.
Okay.
So it is just Twilight, and it is almost 700 pages.
Wow.
So it's just Twilight from Edward's perspective. And
Yes.
it's over twice as long as Twilight.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, because there's also more scenes from Edward's perspective. We go to Denali with him. I know that much. We go to Denali with him.
Yeah, I mean, there's no synopses online, so it'd be hard to find any spoilers if we wanted to.
Yeah, let me just find, because it was, there was something else, that I thought of that I know that she's answered somewhere. I just can't remember what it is. Like, again, so much lore of Twilight is just not in the books.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, every single book has a Q&A or a FAQ section on her website.
Yeah,
Except that so many questions are unanswered.
Friggin'. I think it was another character's backstory that isn't in the books at all, but it's canon because she's explained it somewhere else. I'm just like, can we just have some short, even if she published short stories that told us this? Because I feel like
that'd be more interesting than a Q&A page.
Yeah, it'd be funner to experience, to read it than, but yeah, I don't know. I can't remember what it was, but if I remember, I'll bring it up in Midnight Sun.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will let you guys know what we're doing next.
Yeah, because we've got, it'll either be Midnight Sun or this next book in Wildcats. I think
probably y'all's week, because I have a big school thing next week.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what we'll do. So yeah, that's what's up next. And anyway, we will see you guys later. Bye, guys.
Bye.